primer stuff, obviously you guys already knew this anyways, but because it's been a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? It was December 5th. Was our last game. Anyway, Norok, you still have exhaustion of level 1 exhaustion because you had frenzied near the end. And then for Sarah, yours is a little bit worse because you have exhaustion level 1, and then you'll have disadvantage on con saves for the next 1d4 plus 2 days. So if you want to go ahead and roll a d4. And then also, because they're con saves, that also means concentration saves, because concentration saves are just con saves. So concentration and then con saves for the next 6 days.
Oh,
That's gonna be pretty punishing, potentially, anyways. Because it depends what you guys choose to do. But so level 1 of exhaustion, and then the disadvantage on con saves because going unconscious from being stabbed by Ekrid. Pogo, also you are pretty badly over encumbered from carrying around those gold bars. Those pushed you over the threshold. So just picturing the a little Pogo carrying around 40 pounds of gold, or whatever, 25 pounds or something like that of gold bars. But being too greedy or cautious about letting someone else carry them. So I imagine it kind of similar to the when you stole all the silver from the ship.
Just kind of awkwardly bow-legging it.
Yeah, it's not like it's only 8 pounds. It's not enough that you can't carry it. It's only 8 pounds over, rather. But it's enough to make you have to walk awkwardly for sure, especially at a 40-pound Pogo. Real quick, audio levels okay for everybody? You guys can hear the world map music, all that stuff?
I can.
I don't hear anything.
Well,
can you turn, well, if you go into the playlist settings in Foundry Fox, and you turn that up a little bit.
The world map thing was low, but I'm still not hearing it.
Let me turn it up a little bit on my end. I don't want to go too high.
I mean, it's just a little bit it's a little quiet, but it's...
I had it really quiet on my side, but I just want to make, because I know that Fox a few weeks ago wasn't hearing it at all. We want that back down at all. So there we go. Anything, Fox?
Still not hearing it.
No!
Okay, one of these times, anyways, we need to go through and make sure that Fox's is working too, because that's at least 2 weeks now that she wasn't hearing. I think the last session.
I heard it last week, yeah.
Or last game, yeah. All right, Ben, Becky, you guys able to hear it though?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pick up where we left off then. Let me bump that back down one step here. All right, so where we left off, you are all back at Omonolore with your new awkward companion, Nazim. Not awkward in that he's awkward, but awkward in the situation that you guys don't seem to necessarily trust him very much just yet. But you are back at Omonolore after recovering the Wood Sage's chorus and that treasure hoard from Tahakapan. Arteme is sitting with Leary and kind of just discussing the adventure you guys all had in there, and the the mapping of the place that she had drawn and the artifacts you recovered and so on. Sarah was sitting down and identifying all of the objects. Pogo had run off to go get some drinks / dinner maybe. I think Nazim was just floating nearby, hanging out nearby, but not letting the Wood Sage's chorus out of his sight with Arteme. But
no, I was just thinking about him like, what's that old SNL thing? It's like, do the creep. Like he's just kind of creeping around the corner, like
the Lonely Island
creeping
song.
Around a tree, just with big, dead, open eyes, staring,
hovering
a couple inches off the ground.
Yes, hovering a little bit, and also Sako did specify because Sako has Nazim has Mask of Many Faces, so he can change his appearance. There you go, Sako.
He decided not to.
Hiding over a bush. Yeah, but he was deciding not to use it, so he's looking like his normal self with the deep-set, dead-looking eyes and the face kind of sloughing off a little bit. And the picture, he posted a picture in Embers chat of him hiding behind bushes and staring. So very, very awkwardly, floating nearby and just kind of eyeing the Wood Sage's chorus. That's where we left off, and hence where we'll pick up. What are you guys doing?
Oh, well, I just went and I think she told me what my new gauntlets will do after I kind of learn to use them. Mm-hmm. If I'm feeling a little over encumbered, I'm guessing the gold and the jewels and things that everyone gathered is not just out and about. They keep it in their bag. Do they keep everything in that bag? I'm actually going to go up to Norok if I still see him in the area, and I'm just going to slip him one of my gold bars and let him know that I can't. I'm too weak. I can't carry this. I need you to hold on to it. Just put it with the rest of whatever you have.
You literally give him 1 gold bar though out of the 5 that you're carrying.
Wait, 2. I give him 2 gold bars to bring me under my. Oh.
Norak, do you mind
He's
carrying?
hurting my back. He's hurting my back, Norak. I need you to grab some of these.
I'll take them, and then I don't know if I'm going to give them back, but I'll take them.
Yeah, Norak was already carrying 8 of them, but to give you a comparison, he can carry 540 pounds before he gets encumbered. He's only carrying 180. he's literally at 1/3 of his maximum capacity.
I'm patching around, right?
But little Pogo, a little 3-foot tall Pogo with 25 pounds of gold bars is too much for him to carry. So,
well, I've got my shield that's, I'm starting to. I didn't realize that when we were doing this whole adventure, I need so much strength. You guys are a lot more used to this. So I just kind of play music and, try to court some lasses, and that's pretty much it. So, whew.
But still going to make sure you're holding on to 3 gold bars.
You're all making me sweat. Well, the lasses aren't cheap. You gotta wait and dine. I can't wait till we find some place. I'm telling this to Norak, by the way. I cannot wait, Norak, till we find some place we can just blow some money on a fine meal, like maybe a 5-course, or in your case, like a 25-course meal, and then we'll just maybe have some professional women just dance for us, and we're gonna have a great night. How does that sound?
When we get back to the capital, it's going to be a guys' night. It's going to go out and party.
Oh, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I'm missing one. It's been too long.
So I'll pick Pogo up and put him on my shoulders, and we'll go find something to drink and eat. So he doesn't have to drag his heavy self through.
So you carry the unencumbered Pogo, because quite literally, he's got 128 pounds that he's carrying, and you still could carry him and still be fine.
Yep. With all of his stuff.
Oh, yeah, all right, we're doing this. I've got my oversized gold gauntlets that haven't quite fit to my hands yet.
Oh, they don't resize, by the way. I don't use that rule, so they're actually, if anything, they would be like they would be wristlets, like just wrist things on an Iskil size. But for you, they're like their upper arm, their bicep. They're not even forearm.
All right.
All right. I changed your bars down to 3. Then Norak is carrying 10 of them now. All right. Go ahead, Fox.
After talking with Larry, I'm gonna go find Sarah to go bury. I'm trying to think of her name, but I can't.
Heckwith.
Yeah, Heckwith Stones.
Okay. The Wood Sages chorus. You were going to be attuning to that. Are you finishing that process first, or doing it when you get back?
Yeah, doing it when I get back, because it's gonna take an hour.
Okay. All right. The burial spot's probably going to take you an hour and a half to get to, and then you'll be walking back that. And it's getting dark yet. You still can. Just it is it's already starting to get dark, and it'll be probably a 3-hour trip.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, first off, I'm putting my gold bars in the bag of holding.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. You guys handle the inventory. I don't want to deal with them. Go ahead. I already took care of the Justin one to to Norak.
Do I see her leaving to go try to bury the? Was she leaving to go bury the remains?
Norak was still nearby, so when Norak picks you up, yeah, I mean you would see Arteme and Sarah talking. Yeah.
I bring the bag with me everywhere.
All right. I'm gonna kind of tell Norak, just so they can't hear. Why does she hold the bag? Like, shouldn't you hold the bag? I feel like if anyone's going to hold all of our treasure, I want it to be into the hands of the 10-foot giant that no one's going to even want to try to mess with.
Well, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, any enemies of ours might have the same idea too. So, maybe Arteme could sneak away while they try to come steal it from me or something. Who knows?
I suppose. I always get worried. I get worried that all our nice stuff is in that bag, and sometimes she likes to go off on her own. What if she went off on her own again, and then everything just we don't see her, and then you've lost whatever's in that bag.
Maybe that's the plan.
You guys have a lot of thrusts. That's all I'm saying. If I see her leaving the camp, I'd like to try to just go with her too. I don't want her to be alone with all of our stuff.
Okay. Sarah, what were you doing? Just putting, asking Arteme to put your gold into the bag?
Yeah, and then I'm going with her to go bury it. So I mean, we can ride the broom, and I've got dancing lights, so we'll be able to see just fine.
Sure. I also have my lights. Cantrip.
Yeah, so we're good.
Nazim, you see them all having this conversation about leaving. It's getting dark already, so it's basically getting to nighttime, and they're talking about leaving the kind of safety of this camp here. What are you doing? Taco?
Oh, sorry. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on everyone as best as I can, just giving approving nods and theatrical waves whenever they try and make eye contact with me. Just kind of minding my own business for the time being. But
it looks like they're about to leave.
So I'll just start moving towards the group and gingerly walking over to reinsert myself into the fellowship here.
How many gold bars are you adding, or did you already add them?
No, I haven't added them yet.
Okay, so how many? Because I'll change the number from 40.
There's 5. I have 5 gold.
Okay.
So just to remind you guys, Sarah, you put 40 or you put 20 in the bag already. Arteme took 20, so there's already 40 in the bag. Okay. And then Sarah, you were carrying 5 more also.
So now there's 45 in the bag.
Yeah. All right. Leary, then seeing you, preparing to leave. Oh, are you heading out already? You weren't going to stay the night?
We're just gonna go bury Micallith's bones and then come back for the night.
Okay. It's dangerous out there. Just be careful, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be much of an archaeologist if I didn't ask. Yeah. You're all close by.
All right. Did you guys hear her say it's dangerous? Maybe we should just wait like one evening. Hasn't that lady been, hasn't she been in whatever sarcophagus it is for like hundreds of years? Can she not wait one night to be buried?
Would you want to wait an extra night of torment to be buried?
I'd love and appreciate if we could just wait one more evening. Let's get rested. We've had a long, long day. Unless something about it makes you think that that's going to come back to life and haunt us tonight. I mean, we're not lying. We're going to do it first thing in the morning.
You don't have to join us if you're too scared.
I just don't. I'm tired.
I actually wouldn't mind waiting because I am not feeling so hot right now.
How about before we do that, we just got all these things, items or these devices that we got. Why don't we see what we got? We can learn about our new friend here. We're no longer in danger. We can have a conversation with what was your name again?
Nazim.
It's a pleasure, Nazim. You can come out from behind the tree. We all see you there. It's strange. It's fine. Do your feet work, or do you just prefer to do the floating around?
I enjoy floating. I've walked a long time.
That's fair. I haven't floated much in my life. It looks relaxing, like a spa day. But we could get to know our new friend. We could get to know our new friend. We can have some food, maybe a drink, and look at all the things that we got. We just found so much. I think we should talk about all the interesting items. And then first thing in the morning, we'll go to the beach. We'll make a beach day. Probably find some giant water ocean creature that explodes. Is my assumption. And then we'll do that tomorrow.
That actually would be fine with me because we can leave straight after burying her. So if you want to help your aunt tonight, then that would be fine.
What do you say? What do you say, Arteme?
Leary looks in your direction, kind of listening, and not intentionally, but just because she's nearby. She looks at you. She says, "And to be honest, I really wouldn't be much of an architect if I didn't, or archaeologist if I didn't, hope to maybe get a look over those artifacts before you take off with them." And she kind of whispers the last part. You get the impression, by the way, you guys did essentially tomb raid and rob a shit ton of artifacts, and she's kind of just pretending she doesn't see them, kind of thing, to let you guys just run off with them when they should be in a museum kind of a thing. But she's not trying to take them from you, but she is hoping to get a look at them before you leave.
That is perfectly fine with me.
I guess, but first thing in the morning. We'll have breakfast after.
I love a pissed off fox. It's always hilarious to me.
How is it hilarious?
That's fine.
You get this very indignant little lilt in your voice.
Yeah.
That's always amusing to me.
Okay.
What time is it in game?
It's probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. But remember, you guys are in like late fall, so it's yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be best. Let's find.
I'm gonna apologize to the bones because I don't know if she's still around and could hear us, but I'm gonna apologize to the bones anyway.
Give me a perception check. I'm kidding. There's no.
I would also
no
like to. I would also like to go up to the bones and say, we really appreciate all the help you gave us, and we are going to get you taken care of tomorrow morning, bright and early. And please don't haunt our dreams. And then I'm going to do a little kiss on whatever construction these are in. Are they just in the bag?
Yeah, they're in a bag that Artemis is holding. So
yeah, I'm just going to give it a little
awkwardly
kiss on the
lean
bag.
over to the bag.
Yeah.
All right. Artemis, I'm just going to use the roll that you made. I was actually kidding about the perception check, but I'm just going to use the roll. No, you're fine anyways, because I'll use that to as a memory check, just based on the number that you rolled. You definitely got the insinuation, I'd say, in the conversation you were having while Sarah was translating for you with Tekwith, that she has kind of lost pretty much any recognition of time anyway. The difference of even decades would probably be insignificant to her at the span, because literally she's been buried there for over 100,000 years, very, very long time. So even years, let alone days, would probably not make much difference of time to her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. That is true.
In the span of eons that she was talking about, the matter of a few hours probably wouldn't make too much difference to her anyways, is the impression you would have gotten.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, then, Leary, looking back over. So, if I may, what all did you find in there?
Seriously, what did we all find in there? Look, check these out. I'm just gonna hold up my clangy. I'm gonna slam them against each other, awkwardly, kind of hard,
I'll say that
sound.
just based on the size, that they literally go wrist up to past your elbow. Like, they are awkwardly big on you. Weigh your arms down a little bit, kind of thing. But definitely, a little bit stylish. They probably look pretty cool.
I got some shiny gloves.
I mean, they're bracers. They're your entire forearm.
I got some shiny bracers, and they smell delightful.
Can I? May I?
Oh, you want to see one? And I'm just going to hold it out.
Well, I wanted to. You said they smell delightful. I'm curious what a 100,000-year-old crypt smells like.
I'm just gonna hold out my elbow area where she can get a whiff of the opening side.
I doubt it has any kind of smell to it, if anything. But she's still, being scientific examination, still attempts to do so. The filigree looks just amazing on these. I wouldn't imagine they would have had such skill with their. And she kind of holds her hand up and making claw motions.
Well, it's probably because they probably made their babies just scratch them in with their fingernails or something terrible. Be my guess.
And she's kind of drawing a finger across them. I don't see their claws being sharp enough to dent the gold like this, but maybe. What do they do? Do you feel anything from them?
I feel a little bit. Sarah, I think she told me they're going to make me a bit faster, so I'll be able to move around a bit quicker, if I remember correct.
Well, that sounds exciting. Especially you're
stoked about it. Yeah,
and I mean no offense, little halfling, but extra speed on you would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, I've been trying. There was one time we were all running away, and basically I just kept getting left behind further and further and further. It was pretty embarrassing. Not gonna lie.
Sounds it.
Yeah,
sounds amusing at the very least.
Freaking broom. Well, it's both. It could be both. There's not a single thing.
She chuckles. How about the rest? What else did you find in there?
I will describe to her everything that we found and what it does.
Okay.
You want to describe to us also?
How did I describe it last time? So we got 3 golden rods of, what are they, immovability?
Yeah, immovable
Yeah.
rods.
One
Yeah.
of them's broken. Yeah,
Oh,
one's
broken. Can I see the broken one?
Sure.
She takes it from you. She's just playing with it while you describe to the rest of the team.
So we have, oh shit, hang on. Back in my notes. So we have a ring with the Stone of Mastery, which is a +1 to proficiency.
Whoa.
An amulet, which does not have to be attuned. When worn, cannot be found using magic.
Yeah, it's an amulet of proof against
A
detection and
golden
location.
Yeah. Golden canister that produces up to 30 metal bolts or arrows that do a lot of poison damage, is what I wrote.
Weren't
She
those
says,
don't
"Ooh,
those
I've
make
heard
a
of
poison?
those."
Ooh, didn't I claim those?
I didn't see those. I didn't see that one in anybody's inventory yet, but
Yeah, because I forgot to put it in. But
that's fine. I
yeah.
have them all. I have them all listed as separate items anyway, so you guys can divvy up the loot however you want. That one specifically, Leary says that. Oh, I've heard of those. I mean, those are extremely prized possessions. They were only buried with the the highest ranking that we've ever found in their tombs. That's quite a find.
Yeah, there are some very powerful assholes in that area we were just in.
Well, they would have had to have been to have been buried with these kinds of treasures.
Fair.
Go ahead, Sarah. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no. Then we got the bracers, which are disadvantage on opportunity attacks and bonus action dash. Then there's the large jug, which I didn't write down what it was called, but it produces oil, ale, wine, whiskey, and mayo.
It's a jug of all good things. All the
Yeah,
liquid.
produces acid, basic potions, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, or wine, up to varying amounts every day. It's called an alchemy jug.
Ooh, fresh water and honey. You can make tea.
So it's only whichever one you pick, it'll make one for that day, up to a certain amount. But I mean, you could make the honey the previous day, since honey will, you could literally make a gallon of honey one day, and then have up to 8 gallons of water every day. Otherwise, anyways,
Fuck, a
Wait,
gallon
then
of
we have-
honey. That's a lot of honey.
a gallon of honey is a shit ton
I
of honey.
mean,
Yeah.
that's like orgy amounts of honey. There
speaking
was one
of-
time.
Oh, come on. Let's go ahead and stop that story right there. But Sako did have an accident with mayo real recently that was a particularly amusing one, and that I hadn't even thought of connected to with this alchemy jug.
Wasn't really an accident. That was just serendipitous.
Okay, he bought, was it 8 gallons? How much was it?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
thought they
it-
were smaller containers or something?
So apparently, 128 ounces is a gallon. So I bought 8 of them, and I didn't know. It's a little too much.
But here's a question: why are we buying 8 containers of mayonnaise in the first place?
Well, I thought there were 16-ounce jars, but they didn't have it, so I was like, "Oh, 128. It's not that much more. I'm just gonna get."
That's
these."
more, right?
It's more, but I didn't know it was a gallon. I mean, I would
So-
just say a gallon.
6, even if they were 16 ounces, 6 is a lot.
No,
Yeah,
16 ounces is
that's in
really
the
small.
closet.
A 16 ounce jar, that's not,
Are you making a lot of salad? Like,
I
are
am
you
now.
macaroni salad, potato salad, etc., etc.?
3 potato salads, like 9 things of tuna sandwiches. Yeah, it's nonstop mayo over here. It's kind of sad.
Oh, that sounds like the worst thing ever. Non-stop
It's
mayo.
horrible. It's pretty bad.
That sounds like a level of hell, like something
Yeah,
from.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
If it were the
that's the
summer, I'd break
sixth-
out the slip and slide, but
it's
I
a
mean-
divine comedy. That's one of the layers of hell. Non-stop
Yeah,
mayo.
yeah.
What else did you find?
We have got, where is it? Where did I write it? I don't know where I wrote it. Okay, we have got spoiled Stridos with unexpected side effects.
I would tell you that.
Wait,
that
what is the what's that again? What is that? The Stridus
Healing
again? What is
Health potion.
yeah.
the potions that just? But we think they've gone bad 100,000 years ago.
Yeah, so they're health potions with
Ooh,
unexpected.
I'm so curious. Can I try a little bit? Can I just try it?
Yeah, perfect.
Come on, it won't. It probably won't kill me. Just let me try a tiny bit. I want to see what it. I want to see what it does to me.
I mean, if you want to be a guinea pig, go ahead.
Oh, I've done a lot of things in a lot of places. I want to try, and I'm gonna. Is it corked? Is it like a corked bottle?
Yeah, it's corked. Yep.
So I'm just gonna take the corked bottle and I'm just gonna pour a little bit in my palm, like maybe a tablespoon, and I'm just gonna go ahead.
Seems going to take 2 steps back.
And then I'm just gonna
Two floats back.
take it right into me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a little bit.
Just slurp it out of,
Very
out of your
curious.
palm. It tastes absolutely disgusting. It tastes sulfurous, spoiled, not sulfurous, vinegary rather, like spoiled. But immediately, as soon as you drink
Oh,
it
this
down, you
needs
feel
some mayonnaise. You need to mix some mayonnaise with the vinegar.
it might make a vinaigrette, yeah. But you slurp it back, instantly feels a slight rejuvenation. I'll tell you that the entire vial, if you drink one, you have 12 of these. I simply narratively will assume that Arteme has looked over the vials because these vials are alchemical concoctions that she would have been able to decipher what they do. So the Strido specifically, this would be a superior healing potion. That's the top ones, the supreme rather, I think. Which if you drank the entire thing normally for a supreme potion, I think it's 8d4 plus 8, which is what these ones would heal for. But after you slurp it down, give me a Constitution save.
I'm on it.
Sure, you expected as much. Anyways.
That didn't go. Let me try.
Oh, geez, with a butter knife and a piece of bread.
Got to start somewhere.
Zako put a picture of his vast stores of mayonnaise on the Embers chat.
Wow.
Got rid of a couple.
Yeah, he had friends come over and take jars.
Actually, yeah, my boss, he needs some mayo, so I'm like, here's 2 gallons.
There we go.
You forget where to find a con save? There you go.
I did. Not
Okay.
great.
Just a quick moment. It slurps it down at the disgusting kind of burning feeling of drinking very old vinegar, and then a moment later it just comes right back up. You have to vomit at the last little spot that you would swallow down of it right back up again.
I'm feeling really good, guys. I'm feeling really. This is. Right. I'm doing my best to avoid Norok since I think I'm still on him. I'm just gonna puke as far away from Norok's shoulders as I can.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Norok.
Swaying in place, trying to still hold on, onto like his shoulder or his neck, so you don't fall off. It is. I'll go ahead and tell you guys how this will work. If you drink this, you will get the full 8d4 plus 8, and then you immediately make a con save. And if you don't beat a 14, then you will spend the next turn. So even if you're unconscious, if somebody gives this to you or whatever, to bring you back, you'll get the full healing. But if you don't make the con save, your next turn, you can still move up to half your movement speed, but no other actions while you're retching.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not great.
But still, some supreme healing potions. That's huge. It's just
Yeah.
You maybe not don't want to necessarily use them unless it's an emergency or something.
I feel like those are neat, but. Oh, okay. I feel better. I feel better now.
Right.
No other lasting effects.
We also have a jug of ancient wine.
You got.
All right.
Well, if you only
All
took
right.
one, there were 20 bottles. I don't remember if you took them all or not.
Oh no, I think we tried to put everything that we could in there.
Yeah,
so.
that was 20 big bottles. So if you took them
So
all,
we got 20 bottles of ancient wine.
How much are these all coming out of the bag? By the way.
Sarah, I think Sarah's just saying what they are because she doesn't have the bag. Arteme has the bag.
Oh yeah, I'd be taking them out as she says them, but they're not currently in the bag. So
Hey, Arteme,
Okay.
do you know what those do? The wine?
no.
It was just.
How would I check?
Leary looks over. She says, "Oh, I've tried a little bit of that before. What it does is it gets you real fucked up."
Yeah.
I'll test it out. I'll test it out.
Bad
Wait.
shit.
Maybe we should wait until we're done divvying everything up and then get shit faced and go to sleep. Right. We also have 3 vials of spider climb. And
Yeah, so that one, those are called Spiderfoot salve. It's a salve. You just mix it up. Basically, whoever uses it has to be on bare skin, so you can't just put it on shoes or gloves. You have to put it on your hands or your feet without, basically bare skin. But assuming once you put it on for 10 minutes, when your skin is covered in that salve, you can stick to the walls or ceiling, like a spider or an insect might.
Ooh. Can I have one of those? I feel like that could be kind of fun, and I'm not great like at being hit, so maybe I can take off my nice boots one day, and if we need to, I can just run up a wall and stay away from giant snakes or giant spiders or giant lizard creatures.
Spiders can climb walls, right? I mean, they're spiders. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, they are spiders, I suppose. But still, it might help. Can I have? I wouldn't mind having one of those, or maybe even one of those Stridos things you were talking about.
Yeah, Artemis got them all in the bag.
I mean, Artemis, is it okay if we divvy it up a little bit so we don't have all literal one basket, practically?
Huh?
You guys have 12 of the Stridos files. Are you going to split them up?
Hey.
Yeah. Definitely.
How many to who?
I'll just take one of them.
I'll take one.
Oh, God, I'm still feeling it, but it made me feel so good for such a split second there.
Pogo one, Arteme one, Sarah one. Everybody just going to take one and then put the rest in the bag, or what?
Sure.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Norok, you want one? Okay.
Yeah.
Nazim, are you interrupting it all here?
No, I'm just smiling very creepily at everyone as they divvy things up. It's almost as if I'm watching a bunch of kids at Halloween divvy up the candy. This is something very new to me, and I enjoy watching this immensely.
Okay, first of all, kids do not divvy up candy at Halloween, because that's no. Just no.
Why not? We did.
You trade.
You try. I feel like you
Yeah,
trade.
Ben and I would.
Trade, yeah.
To be fair, most of the time it was me stealing Ben's best stuff, but we would divvy it up when we were kids. Sure.
No, I would just give my brother whatever I didn't like and keep everything I liked. That's it. Like, there was nothing else. There was no divvying. There was no, that was it. Or I just, put everything I didn't like into, a bag, and then my mom got rid of it, or whatever. That's all that happened.
The Smarties and Whoppers bag.
Yeah, the stuff that would still be around in, March, because nobody liked them.
Hold on. For starters, how dare you? Whoppers are
like Smarties?
delightful.
They're okay.
Whoppers?
I like Whoppers. Yeah, Whoppers are good.
As a former fat kid, there was not a single piece of candy that I had relinquished into a throwaway pile in my entire life.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Well, if
Okay.
I tried to-
What'd you?
Oh, just gonna say, if I tried to keep any candy, you would just stick your thumb in it anyway. Squish.
Oh man, I was a real good brother.
Yeah, no,
I jammed my thumb through more than one sandwich when he was a kid because he wouldn't give it to me.
Wow.
Anyways,
What's wrong with a thumb and a sandwich?
it wasn't really to do anything other than just to.
Y'all are
Yeah.
too picky.
I think he probably still ate them. To be fair, it was just it was just if you won't let me have it, I'm going to put my thumb through it, kind of a thing. Anyway, so Nazim is just kind of floating awkwardly nearby, watching you guys divvy these up. Anybody reacting further to that, or just still continue to divvy while he's kind of staring over shoulders?
I'll give him a potion and then put another one in my bag and then the rest in the bag of holding.
Just be careful with those. They have a bit of a kick to them.
yeah.
Well, they all watched you throw it up off of Norok's shoulders.
I wouldn't. Emergency type situation, maybe.
Nazim, you take the vial that she gives you.
I'll take it gladly with both hands.
Okay.
Give her a nod.
I'll just nod back.
All right. The last thing we have is 3 vials of fire breathing.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that does, but that sounds so cool.
That's called Sulfury, and it is Arteme would have been able to fill you in on how this would work. Basically, when you guys, if anybody drinks it, you can use a bonus action from then on for a short time anyways. It's 1 hour. From then on for an hour, you can exhale fire at a target within 20 feet of you. Target has to make a DC 13 dex save or take 4d6 fire damage on a fail, half as much on success, and it ends if you do it 3 times or 1 hour has passed.
I don't want to get that close to enemies. I'll pass.
Ooh, I would love one of those. I don't know if enemy, but can you imagine if we put a show together and we just had fire breathing in our show? They'll love it. We'll go to the capital. We'll have a show about it. It'll rake in so much money and fame.
I'm not that much into spectacles, thank you.
Oh, it'd be so great. Can you imagine Norok just like tosses me up in the air, and as I'm doing it, just a fireball surrounds me coming out of my mouth?
Nazim, he's going to put his hand up very gently and wiggle his fingers like he might want one of those.
I don't care. Then if there's enough, I'll take one too.
Can you imagine Norok, this big guy spitting fire 20 feet? Oh, he's got to give him one of those. I've got to happen. Terrifying. And he can use it quickly too. He can start shooting fire and running at him with a fucking sword. Oh.
Well, Pogo,
I'm gonna write a song about it.
If Pogo stands under my legs and does that too, then it looks like I'm peeing fire too. It'd be really cool.
Just two fire things as we run.
You people are disgusting.
If you guys decide you like these potions after you use them, I do have Dragon's Breath, so I can do that for you.
So like you can like make us do that without a potion.
Yes. But you might want to try the potion first.
Yeah, I'll try the potion. I mean, I've never been able to breathe fire before. I've met some ladies who could breathe fire and some ladies who could swallow swords.
That's the end of the joke? You were going to stop there?
Nope.
I guess this is the joke just the inference?
I liked waiting for the. I liked waiting to see the reactions.
Because everybody expected, yeah, exactly. Everybody expected it to go further. So skirting expectations is the joke. I see. Artemis, so Pogo, Nazim, and Norok have all requested one of those. You willing to split those for them? Artemis?
Sorry, what was that?
Pogo, Nazim, and Norok have each asked for one of the Sulfury potions.
Sure.
All right. Then there's still two more. Hang on, was it 3 vials of the Spiderfoot? Yeah, 3 vials of the Spiderfoot as well. So there's still 2 more of those. Does anybody can take those, or they're just going in the bag?
I'll take one.
All right, Sarah one, and then one in the bag.
Yeah.
I feel like my only problem with this one, guys, is I've got all these cool things on my hands and feet, and I gotta take them off just to put them on there.
Well, you don't have gloves. You just have to take off your boots.
No, I've got.
I mean,
look.
You can hang from one hand.
Wait,
you just.
Do the gauntlets go over my hands?
No. They're just bracers.
No,
they're
just
from
bracers.
the wrist,
From
the wrist, and then past the elbow a little ways.
What the fuck do I keep saying gauntlets? So my bracers. You're right. I do have hands. Wonderful hands.
Maybe that Stratos is spoiled enough that he's got a little inebriated
Okay,
before.
how many Stratos am I adding into?
There were 12 total Stratos, and you've given 1 to everybody, and then you said you were putting 2 for you, so that's 6. 6, and then 6 more that are in the bag of holding. If that's how you want to divvy them, anyway. Is that what you're doing, Fox?
Yeah, I added it into the bag of holding.
Okay, yeah, so there's 6 in the bag of holding, and then 1 for Sarah, Pogo, Norok, and Nazim, and then 2 in Artemis' bag. I'll take care of adding those to your bags. I'm just splitting it up in my notes right now, and then I'll put them in your inventory for you.
So
you go ahead and take care of the bag of holding, though. That's fine. What's that?
Is that what we found, guys? Is that pretty much it?
That's everything we took out of the tomb that we did not take
bad.
off of Ekrid.
Oh, is that the elf you guys killed?
Oh yeah, you were in that room. He was
The Anuadam?
dick.
Yeah, but the Anuadam that you were after, the one that had probably stolen from here, we expect anyways.
Yeah.
We trusted him for a minute, but apparently we made bad decisions. And apparently we're not good at sneakily talking about doing other things either.
Hey, I told you not to trust him to begin with.
She says, that's my girl. Yeah, you definitely should not have trusted an Anuadam for even a minute.
The problem is that place is very confusing, and he seemed to be the only one actually what was going on.
I'm just going to glare at him.
Safely, that's what matters.
I'm going to glare at Pogo for that comment since I was actually there as a kid and I was making our way around it.
Yeah, he didn't really do much.
No.
Well, he's dead now, so I don't know if you guys should be too worried about it.
Yeah.
I think he shot an arrow once.
Yeah. He shot a couple arrows, but that's about it. I'm gonna show her the treasures. Yeah, I'm gonna show Lily the treasures we got from like the Rada Masensu and stuff like that. See if she wants any of them.
So she is enamored, of course, and so do you remember what you have there? Because I know what it is in the inventory, but
The Rada Masetsu, the Scarab of Rebirth, the Inconspicuity of Sir Connell. I guess that's a book.
That's different. That's sorry, Justin. That's Sarah's book that didn't come out.
Oh, okay, so that's not. No, that's not one. So it was the Rada Masetsu and the Scarab, I think.
Yeah, and the Chris knife too. There's a Chris knife at the top.
Oh yeah, the knife.
Yep. She's just eyes wide. But these aren't Iskil relics. Where did you find these?
Vavi. We've been like raiding tombs all across Vavi looking for stuff.
There's a bright twinkle in her eye and just a beaming grin. She is just elated that you've kind of followed in her footsteps at this. I can't believe it. I'm so proud. Did you take notes? Do you have anything I can use to find the place? Come on, tell me everything.
Okay, I'll show her the notebook, and oh yeah, I need to add my notebook into my thing. So I have the spell book, but I also have a notebook.
Yeah, you have your regular notebook that you always, have been writing maps and notes and stuff into. I'll go ahead and tell you guys too that the stuff that you pulled off of Ekrid, there are 3 items. One is another set of boots of Elvenkind. Pogo is carrying them.
I thought I'd asked for them, and he gave them to me last time. So
maybe he did. Okay, they were still They're still listed in his inventory there.
So, because I have one in mind.
Yeah, that's right. You actually, so Pogo is wearing a set, and then you have those as well as the other boots that you have are called the suede shoes, the ones that make can make animal prints.
Yes.
You have those too. So are you switching to the boots of Elvenkind and just putting them in your bag back?
I already switched. Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering how would it work if I would want to try and merge like the suede shoes and the boots, or that wouldn't work at all.
You would need an artificer, and that's not. It would be complicated and probably pretty expensive.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they're 2 separate enchantments. So you'd have to have one. You'd have to have new boots essentially, and have the enchantment put on both on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would probably take forever too if you combine those 2.
Yeah, it's an expensive process, and you need a skilled artificer to be able to do that kind of stuff.
It would be like a full teardown.
And the other 2 things that you pulled off of Ekrid, though, the other 2 things of magical value, let's say, are the Elven Veil Ring, which is with an action you have to be attuned to it, but an action you can turn invisible from normal sight anyways for up to 10 minutes, but the effect ends immediately if the wearer comes within 5 feet of any exposed blood from any creature. And if you're revealed in this way, then the wearer is temporarily disoriented, and you lose the ability to take any action other than movement on the following turn. So for 6 seconds, you're disoriented, basically. And the last one is the Envenoming Dagger, which is what he used to stab Sarah.
Which should be in my inventory. I think I took that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about giving Norok the ring. That way there he could go and just kill people invisibly.
As long as they're not bleeding, like on that time of the month or anything.
I did say exposed though, but
20. Well, what does it mean by exposed? That's a.
Really,
are we going off of great white shark rules? Are we going off of? Gymnast clothing rules? What are the rules here for exposed bleeding?
So the Elven Veil ring you guys are giving a Norok?
Yep.
G? Cool. Okay, it's too small for you to be able to fit on pretty much anything other than the end of your pinky. It's a little awkward to be able to wear it.
But does it stay on? When I try it on, does it seem secure? Like if I move my hand and stuff, or does it seem like it's going to fly off the end of my finger?
You're pretty confident that it'll stay. Like if you're trying to climb over something and using your fingers to climb up like a cliff or something, then it could be at risk. But as long as you have it attuned, you just wear it over, wear it around a chain on your neck. It wouldn't matter.
Oh,
as long as it's attuned. Yeah.
Hey, Norok, are you sure there's nothing else that might fit on?
I'll give him a chain.
You wish, buddy.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Rolls a 1.
I'll give you a chain for it.
All right. Artemis. Okay. All right. So you're gonna wear it around your neck then?
Yeah.
You'll still need to attune to it, so it's going to take you, a minute to do that. Do you have an attunement slot open?
I think so. I think I'll have to double check. I think only one of my things. I think Vulcan was the only thing.
Vulcan does. The Sword of Stolen Hours definitely does. That's at least 2.
Okay. And you can have 2 things?
No, you can have 3, and you actually have a Ring of Evasion as well. So you do have all 3 slots taken right now.
Okay.
So you would need to decide if you're going to use the Ring of Evasion.
I'll carry it with me, but I'm not going to attune to the invisibility ring yet. So if we know I'm going to go on a stealth mission, then we can take a little, minute or an hour or whatever to.
Okay.
I'll do that. Switch over.
All right.
My attunement.
What else?
Whew.
All I've got split up.
everything.
Well, I guess to say I got to put the bracers in here too. So the winged bracers to Pogo. Who was taking the alchemy jug, or is that just going in the bag? It is 12 pounds, so it's not something you'd want to necessarily carry.
It'll just go in the bag then.
Okay.
Can we just use
Amulet
that
of
right
proof
now?
against detection. I mean, you use it anytime you want. It doesn't require attunement.
Ooh, let's make stuff.
Would
Ooh, I could.
guys mind if I use that until I talk to Corn Xantalis just to make sure that what's his name isn't searching for me using magic?
Sure.
Oh.
And then
The
if
proof
not,
against
you
detection?
guys can have it back. Yeah.
Nah, go ahead. I don't even care. That's fine. I mean, if you think about it, if we're all in a group anyways, I don't have... I mean, let's just say I don't have anyone that important looking for me.
Just Bert's family, apparently.
Just a bunch of Barts.
Just a whole lot of, farmers' dad or farmer fathers that are, whatever, farmers' daughters' dads. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
There's plenty of noble parents who are after me as
Oh,
well.
noble parents. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, they're just not... they're probably not that interested.
Immovable rods, the other 2.
I think we should keep those together and just use them whenever we need to.
leave
Maybe.
me
I
in the
mean,
bag
they're
of holding?
kind of neat. Do they have to be attuned or anything?
Nope.
No.
No.
I mean,
But-
here, hold on. Let's see. I can't. I'm too small. I can't.
They're not
carry
heavy. I
these
think
things.
they're only a couple pounds, maybe. Yeah,
All
2
right,
pounds.
I'll,
If you fall from something and you hit the button, you're not going to fall anymore.
yeah, it seems like we might
want
want to
that on your person.
spread the love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
because if
does
you're having to take it
anyone
out of your
want-
bag, that's gonna
Yeah.
a lot more falling distance before you can take it out and use it.
Hey, I'm just gonna turn around and to some of the people. Are there people still working late at night, or is it?
No, they've all pretty
Sitting.
much. Yeah, I mean, there's people around, but they're gathered around small campfires and eating dinner. Eating whatever camp supplies they have and stuff.
I'm just gonna kind
Nobody's
of
working.
reach her. Is there? Okay, here's a question. Is there anyone halfling size?
There are a few dwarves, no halflings.
Nope. I'm just gonna toss my leather armor to the side.
Just there,
Throw
just
it.
throw it on the ground.
Yep.
You're
Just
littering
throw it on the
armor.
And I'm just gonna throw it, unfold it from my pack and just throw it on the ground.
Well,
Be like,
you're standing
From
8
nature
feet.
you come.
Yeah, but you're sitting on a shoulder
is the
8 feet up,
gauntlet,
so that's a
right?
pretty loud slap of the armor
Yeah.
hitting the ground as you throw it from Norok's shoulder.
If Norok, I can make you one shoe out of that if you want. Maybe.
Cool. One leather shoe.
It's just taking up more space. I can't. I'm too small to carry all this crap.
Leary kind of fake scowls at you. She says, "We'll find a use for it."
No, you can make terrible soup out of it if you want. Hard times.
I don't think they're that hard up.
No, but I mean it's like emergency soup. Mix in a little wood chips, you're fine.
So who's taking the immovable rods?
I'll take one.
One for Pogo. You have 2 that work, and then one that will need repairs.
I'll take one that works.
Anybody else?
I'll take the broken one for now and try and get it fixed. And
Does
Yeah, if you
anyone
need
have the
someone just to
ability?
hold it, I can hold it.
Oh,
If someone
don't
just wants to
listen.
free up
We don't
space.
know you. Don't give him things anymore. We'll learn about you in a minute. No offense, man, but we just almost died for this crap. We'll figure it all out, and then
Fine.
we'll if there's something else that you need later, we can give it to you. It's not going anywhere.
Look at his face. That's a trust.
Sorry, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
Nazim will just
to-
shrug
All
and
right.
wave his wrists.
I
I will.
apologize. Nazim.
I will grab the other immovable rod and hand it to Nazim.
Alright.
It's just an immovable rod. It's fine.
Sure, why not? No, just give away stuff. Do you want leather armor? I got this. I'm just gonna like point at it on the ground.
It's all dirty
It
and
won't-
beat up. It's got multiple stab wounds, arrow wounds. So probably some blood
Seen
stains.
seen some things.
It's like in a trailer park or something. Or I guess it's a van.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a van.
All right.
Okay, but I have a question. If you actually fall off of something high, are you going to take damage or just float?
You just stop.
Just stop. Yeah. It
No,
will do an arrow.
are you asking Nazim?
Yes.
Oh,
He doesn't even need it. Well, I guess he could use it for other things.
I was just offering some storage, so it'll free your pockets up to fill with more gold.
I was just
I'll tell you
curious.
Just pack mule.
I'll tell you all that you notice he's not wearing a backpack, and he doesn't seem to have like any equipment on him. Basically everything
Prison wallet.
he has pockets, but he's like not carrying a ton of stuff, nor a backpack. Whereas a traveler you would expect to be pretty weighted down, and Nazim is, he might as well just be wandering through the streets like if he lived in a city somewhere.
Okay, would you like a backpack? Because I can make you one of leather once I go kill stuff
Yeah,
again.
look at that right down. There, just gave you backpack leather.
Oh, that would be
you can
nice.
use the
I would
armor.
appreciate that.
Okay, so next time I go hunting, I'll make him a backpack.
Okay,
I just gave you leather right there. You don't have to look.
it's leather armor. It's not a.
It's leather armor, you can't...
Okay, so listen, this is what you do. All right, look, you just take that piece right there and you just sew the bottom up, and then you just add a couple straps. You could probably do it in like 5 minutes. If you want, you don't have to.
Okay, but that's a one leather, and leather used for armor is a bit different than made for bags, because it's like processed differently.
So it's a little heavier, and you know what? Then if he gets shot with an arrow, it might not break as much stuff.
And Leary says, and really, I mean, no offense, Sir Gleeman, but it smells like sweaty halfling from here. I don't know if I would want to wear that on my back all day.
Right?
You know what? Fine. Let Arteme go murder some animal, and then skin it, and then tan its hide, and 3 weeks later we can make you a backpack. How's that sound? I bet I could go buy one from one of these dwarfs right over here for like a gold.
I am sure once we get back to the Kettle Keep, we can just get him a bag.
See?
True, but we do need the meat for the rations, so either way, we're killing the animal, might as well use the hide for something.
Yeah, my rations are pretty gross.
I'm meaning to mention that they specifically say they're slightly stinky now, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're starting to turn.
All right. We still have the ring or the stone of mastery.
Yeah, it's a stone that is in the ring, so it is technically, it is a ring, but the stone is what the mastery comes from. And that one is it's an Iskill ring of mastery, so it's +1 to all proficiency. It is much larger. Like the reason that the other ring wouldn't fit on Norok is because it was made for an elf. This one was made for the Iskill. It's much larger. But anyways, it is literally +1 to proficiency, which means pretty much anything you do that you are proficient in, which means attack rolls, skill checks that you're proficient in, saves, anything like that. It'll be another +1 to practically everything you do. It's literally the most valuable thing of all the stuff that you guys recovered.
Okay, I could probably use it because like my rolls are horrible, but I think it'd be better served for Norok.
That's a great idea.
That is true, but it does require attunement as well. So keep that in mind that he's already 1 over. He's already got 4
I feel
items.
like-
He can only attune 3. So
What are your guys' items that you're going to try to keep attuned? Because I've got a few, but
I have I would say just chorus, my cloak of and I guess my boot. No, the boots. Do they need?
Nope.
No. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I have 2 currently.
well, why don't you take it then? I mean, I've got my knitting needles, the bloody things I can make my little Pinocchios out of. I like those. I like him. He's fun. I've
Okay,
got my
would
Lithic
it
of light
fit?
feeding, so would what fit?
what, Fox?
The ring.
I mean, it'll be too big to wear comfortably on a finger, but you can do the same. You could put it on a chain around your neck, kind of thing, anything like that, or a leather thong or something. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll do that.
Okay.
Ooh, you could maybe put it on your whip, just like attach it to the whip. That'd be kind of neat, like a pretty ringy whip.
Yeah, around the base or something. As long as it stayed on your person, it'll still stay attuned. Yeah, it'd be fine.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Hang on. You're telling me to put a ring onto the braided lash, which is a mimic. So you're telling me to attune a ring and put it on a mimic.
Is that
It's
a
technically
mimic?
another okay, so
Yeah.
Pogo
I
doesn't
didn't
know
even
that.
know that was a mimic.
Yeah, Pogo doesn't know that. In
Just tell
fact,
me
Justin,
that
I don't
you're
think
just
Justin
whipping
knows
a-
either. But
Yeah, you're just whipping a creature around like that thing's alive, and you're just kind of whipping it around.
It needs
Like
to eat.
animals, it seems a bit mean, doesn't you think?
It needs to eat.
Is that how it
The
eats?
mimic?
Yes, it's a little mimic.
yeah, her whip does. Yeah. If she doesn't hit something with it occasionally, then it starts to bite her. So
Nazim
Yeah,
is
and the broom is a
noticeably
mimic.
excited about this prospect.
about this whip trying to eat your party members.
He's just excited
I
about
see that-
this mimic.
Does he make any obvious excitement things about this mimic? Can I see that?
Taco.
I'm just looking around, just kind of smiling, like, oh, this would be wonderful. That'd be entertaining.
All right. Still interesting. I mean, that's I didn't know that, so I apologize. Is
Written on a
is
mimic.
that
How many?
writing on a mimic? That's a mimic
yeah,
right there. That's
yes.
a broom.
The broom is a mimic
Where
too.
did you guys even? You know what? I don't. It's fine. It's fine.
I had a bag of mimic coins. How many coins was in it? Because I don't remember.
I believe it was 5 that were left that were the eggs. If those are the ones you're talking about.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, are there any other mimics that I don't know about? Is Norok
that's
a
it.
mimic?
Oh, it was 10. Sorry, it was 10 coins that you guys had left.
Is this
Okay,
big
hang
guy? Are you a mimic, big guy?
He taps you on the shoulder, Norok.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not a broom.
God, you yell. You know, I've been in a lot of places, and this is definitely the weirdest group of people I've ever met.
Leary's just like
Okay.
glowingly excited at all this awkwardness.
Yeah.
So
All right,
we're gonna
well-
crack into this ancient wine.
Oh, there's
would
still
love-
so real quick, just so that I can split these up. We can go through this quickly because we're already literally. I mean, we started late, sure, but we're already almost at 7:00. We're still sorting through gear. There's
Oh,
still
we're
a
not
lot
gonna end up doing anything besides just hanging out here tonight.
and drinking. All right, so the Isco Ring of Mastery, Artemis going to use the Stratos. You guys split. How about the Snake Bolt Quiver?
I grab that
All right.
because I use a bow and
Yeah, that's totally
yeah.
fine. That one, to give you the specifics, all these items will actually be in your guys' inventory, so you'll be able to see the specific stats. That one, how it works, you can produce up to 30 arrows per day, only one at a time, though. Meaning if you try to produce a second one, the first one will just, disappear. But every time you produce one, the little snake, that'll come out, basically solidifies either into an arrow or a bolt you get to choose. So if you're using a crossbow, it would work the same way. It would just be, a shorter bolt. But again, only one can exist outside the canister at a time. You can still make up to 30. The reason that's there is because you can fire one arrow of that type per round. But if you can shoot, 5 rounds or 5 arrows in a round, you'd still only be able to use one, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But you'd get the normal
So
damage
you
from
can
the
only
bow
use it once a turn.
once per turn. But you can create it as part of the action of making the fire. You don't need to do it each time. So if you're going to fire an arrow, you can just pull it out in the same way that you would draw a regular arrow. But if you were going to fire a second arrow that turn, it would have to be a regular one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fine. So I could shoot one of the poison arrows and then a regular arrow.
Yeah. If you
Okay.
can fire twice per turn, which I don't think druids can actually, so it
No.
wouldn't matter in that case. Yeah. But
Just so you know, you look like a total badass with both of those on your back like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks rad. I like it.
especially because one's like beaming gold, like super gaudy, because all pretty much everything you guys pulled out of there is like really gaudy, bright gold stuff. But the snake bolt that you fire does the regular arrow damage plus 2d4 poison damage on hit, and the target has to make a con save or be afflicted with a poison condition.
Nice. Okay, I'm probably gonna put like the snake quiver into my other quiver. Just that way there it's not all bright.
Okay, all right, just to kind of set it in the you'd have to empty the regular arrows out, but I would say you could probably, I would say with some modifications, it'll take you an hour to do it, but you could modify your regular quiver to have enough space to still have your regular arrows and the canister one inside of it.
Perfect, I'll do that because I don't need as much sleep as everybody else. The Iskall ceramic keys, I'm gonna give those to Leary in case they want to go look in Well, there's still like the guards and stuff, but in case they want to go looking like at the bottom floor of
And
the.
Yeah.
you did presumably warn her about the spirits that will be back tomorrow and so on, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then the snake bolt quiver for Arteme. And the bracers and the soul fury, that's all matched out. So I think that's everything, right? I think that's everything. All right. Then that leaves the Wood Sage's chorus. So that's going to take you, a solid hour without other distractions to attune to, Fox.
Okay.
So, what are you guys doing from here? Now that you guys have split up all the loot, Leary is just utterly elated that you guys chose to share all this information with her and everything. So what are you guys doing?
So Arteme, are you going to get more familiar with that and see if you can help your aunt out with her situation?
Yep, that's what I'm going to go do. So I'm going to go find a
very
quiet spot
sweet.
to meditate and attune to the Wood Sage's course.
Okay.
Does anyone else have to meditate, or can we get to know our new friend?
Nope, we're good. I already told Ozzy what we're doing and that we'll be back tomorrow.
I'm going to see if there's any ingredients to be able to resummon inside because I ran out, I think, because I gave the rest to Sarah to summon her familiar.
Okay. Leary, with understanding that's what you're trying to do, Leary looks at you. I'm afraid we don't have any mage types really here with us, although that would have been really handy a couple of times already. You're probably going to have to head back to town, I would think. What specifically do you need?
Is it in my herb bag?
It's 50 gold. I think it's 50 gold worth of incense and charcoal that you need.
Oh, right, yeah, incense and charcoal.
Yeah. Special incenses. Not the kind of stuff that you would just find
What do
generally,
you
though.
need the incense for?
Summon Sai?
Oh, okay. That was for the other thing, the item.
No,
Sorry, I don't have any incense.
I'll just go into town tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish we had some of it here, but that's just not the kind of thing that generally comes in useful, on a dig site.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
To confirm, where is it? Becky, do you have it handy?
I just put down on my shopping list incense and charcoal.
Okay, it is. Yeah, so it's only 10 gold. I just found it. It's 10 gold worth of incense and charcoal. Charcoal you can just find. It's 10 gold of incense essentially. The charcoal you can just burn wood to make if you needed to. There are some herbs that you use as well, but I would say that those are things you would just typically have on you. They're not rare ones or anything. And then the brass brazier, which you just keep in your normal equipment. So. All right, then you're heading off to find a quiet place to attune to the Wood Sage's chorus. Then, Fox.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, while she goes to do that, I would go and jump off of no rock, and I'm gonna go grab some
That's
cups
not a
for
jump.
that ancient wine.
You're going to take damage
It's
if
a
you
climb.
jump on the rock.
I'm
It's a
gonna climb.
Yeah.
And awkwardly fall off of his loincloth as my hands gently caress the small of his back. And I'm gonna go grab 5 little cups from where I grabbed some ale before, so we can try out this ancient wine with our new friend Nazim.
Yeah, it was probably
I've
Brady
grabbed
might
2
have
bottles
burger.
of ancient wine out of the bag.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
Then we'll come back to you guys in just a moment here. Where Arteme is going to be spending this hour, and then we're going to skip back to the beginning of the hour for the rest of you guys. Is that from something? Is that original Mad Max or something, Sako?
Yeah, Master Blaster.
There you go. I wasn't quite sure. It looked a little Mad Mask-esque, but all right. Then Fox, you head into. Leary says you can use her tent, so you head in there. Smells really nice. It's about the only nice place you guys have found on this island so far. Everything else has pretty much been dirty, and covered in a thin humidity sweat, basically covering everything on this island. But her tent is very nice, very organized, of course, the same as you would expect it. That same kind of familiar smell that you were used to as a kid when you would travel with her to do these various archaeological studies. But you sit down on her bed and take the Wood Sage's chorus out. In the few kind of rare occurrences that you had a minute to really look at it since leaving the burial prison at Tahakapan, you can tell that it was obviously once an amulet of sorts, but it has since been. Originally, it was a separate kind of a stone, and then an amulet, and then the amulet's been cut away, and then it's been crafted into this kind of wooden crown of laurels. It's literally like a crown now. But you sit down, focusing on this den arc and studying the very intricate interwoven, like petrified carved wooden leaves and this plum-sized bone scrimshaw that was the original amulet portion of it that the Mephuans wore. You immediately recognize that this odd but somehow complementary blend of human and elven design it looks like it's been passed back and forth and modified numerous times throughout its history. You have no way of knowing, obviously, that that if the blend was intentional or if it was just the result of it being passed back and forth from one culture and so on. But you kind of appreciate some of the intricacies of it. Rolling the crown over in your hands, you notice the detail work where the Mephuans had drilled a hole through the bone, which you would expect to incite a certain anger in you, where this leather strap could have been added to it. But the kind of half expecting to be angry at it, what should have amounted to this kind of unforgivable sacrilege, this kind of vandalization of this priceless artifact, you still managed to appreciate the kind of delicate way in which they had altered this artifact and not damaging the scrimshaw in any way, just kind of adding to these thin striations as if it was intended to be that way. With the leather strap gone, though, the petrified wood of these crown of laurels that surround it kind of hold it in place, as if the hole where the drill was is now where one of the tips of the wooden leaves is kind of locking it in so that it wouldn't come loose. This piece as a whole, in this current incarnation, is just an awe-inspiring work of art. You probably would have felt similar with the previous versions, but it's hard to imagine it being improved on anyway from here. But this quick rest time seems to, in general, this hour seems to have flown by, because nearly an hour has passed while you just rolled this over and studied it. It's endless little carvings and etchings and so on. But tentatively, very cautiously, you close your eyes and then bring the arc up to rest the crown on your head, and you feel a warm, tingling sensation flow through you. For a moment, you find it impossible to open your eyes. You're just too transfixed by this mental expansion that this arc is imposing on you. And a minute passes, and maybe 2 or 10, you don't really know. But finally, you open your eyes, attunement complete. And while you don't yet understand the full depths of what this thing can do, you immediately recognize a swelling connection to the dental rill, which is the source of healing energy, of course, as you know. And you are able to... It feels like you're able to think faster than normal. You recognize that a moment later that's really just a matter of being able to think about 2 different things at the same time. And it's a little disorienting at first, but it's becoming more comfortable as time passes, just the matter of a minute or two. Mechanically, what it'll do for you is while you're attuned to this, you'll be able to concentrate on 2 spells at once instead of 1, which is an insanely overpowered and game-breaking ability, so keep that in mind. There may be cases where we have to, for that breaking the world purposes, we may have to limit that, but I don't think so. I think we'll be fine. But essentially...
Wait. So that means I can use invisibility and pass without trace at the same time?
Yeah, anything that's concentration-based. Where normally you'd be limited to a single one, you'd be able to put 2 up, yeah. And on top of that, any healing magic that you expend a spell slot on, you can upcast by 2 levels without any additional costs. So when you look at the spell, like when you look at your healing spirit, for example, right? You can cast it as a level 1 spell and only spend a level 1 slot, but the effects will be as if it was cast at level 3. Or if you cast it at 3, it would be 5, and so on. Does that make sense?
That is awesome. I'm a better healer!
So just keep that in mind as far as how that functions. But you finish the attunement for that, and now have that. It is. I mean, okay, I did tell you that the Iskil ring is the most expensive because it could technically be sold and have a price. The Iskil ring of mastery, but that Denark it's like invaluable. You can't even put a price on it. It's a priceless historical artifact. It is also the thing that you notice as soon as you come out of the tent after studying it, Nazim's eyes immediately lock to you and are kind of following you around again very creepily.
Great. I'm gonna go find Larry.
Hey, calm down, Nazim. She's not... Is she single? I don't know. Is that...
It doesn't really matter. I don't think he's looking at her.
Yeah, you guys all do see that she's wearing this, priceless wooden crown on her head now.
I don't know. My perception's pretty low.
Especially because remember we're skipping back to the start of that hour anyway, so you've had a few drinks in. Yeah, that's probably worse. All right, so jumping back in then, Arteme, while you're still in there attuning in the tent, what's everybody else doing? You gathered some cups, pulled out a couple bottles of this ancient wine.
Nazim, can we interest you in getting to know us? Maybe you can sit down if you have the ability to touch physical chairs or ground. We can all have a sip off this ancient wine, get to know you.
Sure, for just a little bit. But something very bland, not so much wine, maybe some water. Or some potatoes or something if you have something bland.
I never drink water. Fish pee in it. All right. Well, we can get you some water. So I'm going to try some of the ancient wine.
Yeah, me too.
You uncork it. The similar to the potion, actually, when you would uncork one of the Stratos bottles, it is almost solid in place. Like you really have to work the cork back and forth to actually get it to break free because it feels like it's stone almost. But you break it away. You see a little bit of sediment kind of drip down into the bottle that broke free of the cork when you let it go. But you swirl it around a little bit, pour some out. It's a little bit acrid kind of a smell to it, but it still smells like wine. It doesn't smell like it's spoiled the way that the Stratos had.
Oh, this smells so good. Are you sure, Nazim? Sure you don't want a little bit? All the cool kids are doing it. It'll relax you.
Maybe a little bit too rich for my palate right now.
It'll relax.
But
It'll make you feel good and comfortable. Some people would say that not having a drink with people that you've just met and encountered would be even considered a rude thing to do.
I'm rude all the time, then. I always say no.
Some people don't drink alcohol, but they'll accept other drinks. It's not rude to refuse the alcohol.
Are you allowed to drink? Are you allowed to eat like pork or anything? Nazim?
All right, so that I don't know if that was intentionally racist because Nazim is Vabian, and the Vabian culture would look probably to a pogo, to a halfling, would look like it's a Muslim culture. It's not, but like if I, so anyway.
For the time being, I just prefer more bland foods and drinks for now. But I will partake if you have something a little bit more bland for my palate. I have a very weak palate right now.
I'll give him my water skin.
Right, water skin. So, this is going to sound a bit weird, but are you like recently, joining us back in the land of the living here? You look a little pale.
Well, recently my teacher, my master, had a little bit of an accident, it seems, and I'm looking for some new companionship, some friends, people that I can grow and learn from.
All right.
This may sound invasive, but who was your master?
Oh, you couldn't pronounce his name. It's very long.
Not allowed to say things like
He didn't have to be a warrior, right?
It was the strangest thing. A few days back, I came back and found his head completely destroyed. And I don't know, I just had a sense that I needed to find out what could have done this. And that's kind of where it led me to those caves.
Pogo's going to try to kind of quietly and very slyly squeeze Norok's finger.
Destroyed how? Was his head cut off? Or
Norok or Sako, I'm gonna send you a whisper real quick. You'll see it in Foundry.
That's crazy.
I don't remember. I don't know if Sako knew this is all. So I wanted to make sure that Nazim has the correct information. Whether he wants to lie or not doesn't matter. But I wanted to give him the information so that he can decide whether he wants to tell the truth or not.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that, Sako? Okay.
Oh yeah. It's I have no idea what happened to him, but he was pretty much the strongest person I know of, and I've been with him for a very, very long time learning, and I just came back and just his head was just destroyed. He was dead, so I needed to come and find someone who's done this and see if I can kind of learn from them.
So you're more of a... Go ahead.
Dead like somebody chopped off his head, or dead like somebody pounded his face in?
Well, he didn't really have a head left. It was just kind of obliterated. It was just, a little bit of body, a little bit of tentacles, and that was about it.
Was it
Ignore me.
like, did they like? I'm assuming like they used something to obliterate his head. Do you know what it was?
Did you say tentacles?
I have no idea. I just came in and it was everywhere.
just-
There was no head left.
I wasn't
And I'm not going to lie to
I'm
you.
just-
I was impressed. I was upset, but I was impressed. So
I'm
I
just giving
absolutely had to
Pogo,
find
like,
this.
Weird ass look like don't fucking say anything. Dear God, I think I know what we did.
So basically, you're just, you call him your master, but was he master in a good way or just a master like he was a boss? Like, were you friends with this guy?
I've been learning from him for a very, very long time. He's helped me attain a lot of my powers and everything that I've been able to achieve.
Well, it's very impressive.
Right, can I do an insight check?
Yeah, go ahead. Sako, what you're going to do... sorry, I was just changing it, transitioning to night there, so you'll see it get a little dark.
What was the plus
what's what?
the D4 for?
Because of exhaustion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But it says +4.
No, it says
Well, that's
minus. It says minus 1d. So it's the first
Oh,
roll is
okay.
the 1d20R, which means reroll ones because of your halfling luck,
Okay.
plus 4 from your
I see.
proficiency, and then minus 1d4 for being exhausted. For a total of 13. Now, Sako, real quick, what you're going to do is you're going to where you see the drop down box right. Well, you see the chat box where the dice are right below it, right? See the chat box on the bottom
yeah.
right. Okay, so right above that, you see the drop down box where it says public roll.
Yes, public roll.
Yeah, click that and change that to private GM roll.
Gotcha.
And then what you're going to do is in your character sheet, and I'm going to walk you through where to find this real quick. In your character sheet, you're going to go to your attributes tab.
Attributes, yep.
And then there, don't click anything yet, but there you're going to see deception and you'll see persuasion. Now, you are going to choose whether you're lying or telling the truth, and no one's going to see it except for me. So they won't know whether you're using deception or persuasion, but whichever one you roll, I will compare against that to tell whether she believes you or not. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So you use persuasion if you're going to tell her the truth, use deception if you're lying.
All right, I'll just click my choice now.
Okay. You feel like he's telling the truth, Sarah. He's not. He doesn't.
Okay.
You don't seem like he's being cagey. He definitely seems very strange, but you don't feel like he's lying necessarily.
So I couldn't help but notice, you seem to have a bit of a connection to that artifact that we're using. Do you mind if I ask, is it something that you need for yourself, or do you just enjoy the idea of this powerful artifact? Because we're all human, I guess. So that's it's perfectly fine, but we'd like to know why you're interested, and just to make sure that we're all on the same page. We are currently just trying to save a bit of a group of people from some ne'er-do-wells, and you can feel free to join us if you think you might be on the same page as us.
I've seen
We're
an
obviously
artifact
very
similar to
powerful.
that a long time ago. They're dangerous. I'm just being cautious.
Oh, so you just want to make sure they're not in the wrong hands.
Kind of, yeah.
All right.
While they had that conversation, I was going to, as inconspicuously as possible, message Pogo and be like, dude, I think we killed his master. I'm pretty sure his master was the Warrior of Chaos.
You can reply to the message, Pogo, if you're going to. Also,
if I'm sitting in the area.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to spin around or something and whisper or something like that. But yeah,
I'll just listen to it.
No, nobody else
So-
can see it.
So what's interesting? So what's interesting?
it's not over the
is-
stone. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just
okay.
message.
Yep.
Okay, so in my head, I'm just going to reply, fucking duh. And then I'm just going to continue talking.
Okay.
I actually, this might sound strange, but was your master, killed just a little while ago, like recently? Because I heard a story about some, there was something, I think to the northeast of here. We heard about some elves and some other creatures coming together to beat this Was he like he had tentacles? And he lived in the water by there. I some of them like stories on the wind from the last couple days.
Yeah, it must have happened pretty shortly before we met in the cave. Probably not that long before.
Interesting. All right. I'm just curious. Yeah. I wonder. I mean, interesting. I wonder who did that.
Question: how did you get to be in those ruins where we found you? Like, were you looking for something specific in there?
Yes, I was drawn to the power of what killed my master.
I'm like that with pretty women. And I'm going to wink at Sarah.
Okay, you guys cut out. I heard I was drawn to power, and then I wink at Sarah.
Yep.
You pretty much got it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So,
Okay.
go ahead, Sako. Go ahead and repeat what you said.
Oh, I said, yeah, I was drawn to the power that killed my master. I was actually drawn to it. I had a sense of what happened, and then I found you guys in the cave.
Yeah, well, we're pretty powerful. I mean, we've we've defeated 90-foot giants, and we've taken care of. Let's see, what else have we defeated? There were those 3 70-foot lizard dinosaur creatures that one time. Like, we're pretty strong. We could take care of some things.
You probably believe him, Nazim. He seems like he may be bragging, but he's telling the truth, it seems.
That's good. I'm in the presence of some very strong company. Perhaps I can learn better from you than my previous master.
We're kind of accidental, stupid strong. Like, it just kind of, we find ourselves where we in these predicaments sometimes. But there is a big picture. Norak here. He's our main man with these guns right here. I squeeze his giant quadriceps.
I'd say at best you're reaching elbow. Like at best you're getting to elbow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna go for his arms. I'm gonna do it like halfway up his thigh and just squeeze it. Be like,
oh, that is so much more awkward. That is so much more awkward.
Guys, tight.
You sure you want to hang out with us, Nazim?
Feel.
See this shit?
It's all right.
Norak
I'm
being
only
constantly
on
sexually harassed.
all the time.
I'm
What's
just gonna
funny
give a
is
creepy smile with 2 thumbs up.
I like him. He enjoys my breed of antics. I'm a little bipolar, but he's our gun. And then she's basically takes care of different magical things. And what would you say your specialty is, Sarah?
Becky?
She's talking. She must be cutting out again.
Okay.
You're cutting out.
Well, she does that. So what do you bring to the table, Nazim? What if let's say I went to a dinner party and people said, "Oh, Nazim, we've heard of him. What does he do? What's his name like?" What would I tell them? Give us a little quick rundown.
Long time ago, I was an entertainer. I have a great time. I enjoy the company of others. I used to. Now I'm just mostly about gut-wrenching terror and soul and mind-ripping horrors.
Mind-ripping horrors. Maybe we can put you in one of our acts. What can you do with the mind-ripping horrors? Can you create giant illusions?
You have no idea at this point, and I'm still learning. So I have a lot of fun talents that I'm still uncovering. Unfortunately, with my master gone, I'm going to need to find a new teacher and a new group to help me.
Well, if you can, if as time goes by, you just kind of absorb more knowledge with us, you'll probably get stronger. I don't know about this lot, but I have plans to live in this world for a much longer amount. Hopefully we don't get killed by anything too scary.
You never know.
About this time, Arteme finishes the attunement and comes out of the tent, and you guys see her wearing the crown. Arteme, you can join the group, whatever you choose to do.
I was gonna go find Lyra to try and cure her.
She's waiting outside the tent for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna get her to come in and then try and heal her.
Okay. All right, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. Go ahead, guys, the rest of the group.
All right, so...
This this may sound rude, and I don't mean it in a rude way. I'm just wondering, do you want to change the physical thing going on here, or are you okay with what's going on here?
Yeah, you kind of look like you're in the process of decay.
Yeah, that whole thing.
It's a choice I've
No
made.
judgment.
It's a choice I live with, and I understand the consequences, so I let it run its course.
Is
If
it like
my
a quick
appearance
thing?
offends you, I can change it to look like something else.
No,
But
no,
I feel most comfortable like this.
You should change it.
it's well,
That was great, Dustin. Oh, that was some flawless fucking timing there. That was good.
ignore that one. I was just wondering if we needed to like look for a cure or whatever it is. But if you're good with it, that's fine.
I appreciate that, but there's no cure for what's going on with me, and I've accepted this. So we're just gonna run with this for a time being. Thank you.
Can you like turn into a bat or anything?
Okay,
that?
hang on, just real quick, just one sec. Pause narrative for a moment. It's not an undead thing, Justin. Do you guys remember Squad Mage Bottle from the boat, the journal you guys found? And he had made all the notes about the singing from the deeps and the transformation he was going in, and then he had the picture that he had drawn of himself near the end. That and Olowin, the Squad Mage Bottle. You guys never met, but you guys read his well, you met the let's say end. Well, you met. Yeah, what I mean is you met him like post transformation. You never met him. While he was still himself. Let's say you guys met him when he was almost all the way. He'd already lost his mind. Nazim is in those steps of transformation, if that makes sense. Not to undead, not to vampire, but to illithid.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do we know how long that process takes? Because for Olowin, it seemed to go pretty quick.
She was in there for a couple of weeks. Yeah, but you don't have a lot of information about it, except that the ship had been at sea for about 2 weeks, and Olowin had been captured for about 2 weeks. So, when you guys found the Emperor of the Waves, and Bottle had been post-transformation. That's apparently about how long it took, presumably, was around 2 weeks maybe, or at least at the outset, and same for Olowin. That's as much as you know.
All right.
Does it feel like he's losing his mind like Olowin was?
Give me an insight check. Give me an insight check.
Hey, Nazim, do you feel like you're slowly slipping into madness? Yeah. A little bit every day? Like every day just a little bit weirder in your brain? Or do you think you're okay?
We're all living in madness. It's just a matter of paying attention to it.
Sure, but are you feeling like every day you're living in a little madness? Like every day you're like, I'm having trouble reading these words, and the next day you're like, I kind of want to eat someone's fingers. Like, is it getting a little bit worse?
My mind hasn't been well for many, many years. I wouldn't even know what madness feels like at this point.
You know what's funny? That's actually comforting. All right, I appreciate that. Say thank you. So it's been a few years. That's good.
Sarah, yeah, it does not seem like it's as rapid of a transformation as you experienced with Bottle and Olowin, is how I'll say that. For Pogo's just below the passive. For Sarah, definitely does not seem insane. He seems very much all there, just extremely strange, but not crazy.
Okay.
I will drink more. I'm gonna have another big glass. I'm feeling a little more trusting. I like that I feel like my time frame and everything. I feel like everyone knows not to bring up certain things now, except for Ardme. And I think I feel a little bit more, so I'm gonna get a little drunk.
Okay.
I am sipping mine because I want to keep an eye on Nazim and Artemis since she has the artifact.
She is back inside the tent, so she came out wearing the crown, and then kind of looked in your guys' direction, and then grabbed Leary, and Leary's still in her wheelchair, and she wheeled herself through the tent back in there with Artemis, so you can't see Artemis anymore.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I still want to keep an eye on Nazim just because I know he's fixated on the course.
I would say Nazim's eyes probably kind of trail back over to the tent, but as soon as she's out of sight again is when he's like more present when it comes to talking with you guys, probably.
I look back over at you looking at me, and I just gave you a little wave with my fingers.
From 3 feet away.
Yep.
Little awkward wave. There you go.
I like to also imagine every time he does this, unless otherwise specified, just fucking dead faced, just like wide eyes, flat mouthed.
You get the impression based on the facial structure, like his facial features probably don't work very well anymore. So, like, smiling might look a little necrotic and weird as well. Like, the facial muscles are slightly detached from the skin tissue, you know? So,
Botox style.
kind of, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
He
And
looks
from,
like Robert
from,
from The Cure.
like who?
He looks like Robert Smith from The Cure.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
With the makeup on the eyes. And
the
the
costume,
hair
yeah.
down in his face.
Yeah. Sako,
And
you
the
know who
old
that is,
people.
right? Yeah.
Robert
I
Smith.
assume Sako knows who that is.
No, from the Cure? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just with the face, like I picture it a bit like if you if you just put your hand on somebody's face and just kind of pulled down a little bit, how it's just kind of the eyes are sunken and all that stuff. That's kind of the impression.
You can tell something's not right as I'm just kind of munching on a potato and drinking. You can see that my skin and everything is not okay.
Just a solid potato, like eating it like an apple.
I have to eat bland stuff.
All right, inside the tent, then Arteme, Leary wheels in. She's kind of tentative. You get the sense that she's like very cautiously excited. Like she doesn't want to put too much, hope into if this doesn't work. Now, keep in mind, this is she knows this is a temporary effect. Anyways, it's just a matter of having enough money and access to someone capable of a high enough level of greater restoration. So she knows it's not necessarily a permanent thing, but it isn't really within her reach to be able to get it cured on her own, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So she's definitely very cautious about it, and as she wheels in, is it really going to work? You think?
I hope so. Like, I don't really know how to use this yet, so
Well, at the very least, it looks lovely on you.
thank you.
So what do I do? Do I need to like try to stand up or something? How does this work?
I don't know. I'm gonna try casting Greater Restoration and
Okay.
see what happens.
What level are you going to cast it at?
I think all I have is 5th level spell.
Have you guys rested to get your... No. You still don't have your 5th level slot back. What slot level do you have right now? You don't have 4th? Oh shit, you guys are fucking drained. You don't have a 3rd level. You don't have a 2nd level.
I only have one 1st level, actually.
Yeah, so you don't... Because you'd need to be able to cast either, Greater Restoration at its own level to start with, which is, 3 or something like that. So you
5.
technically...
It's 5.
Is it 5? Okay. So, I mean, you could... With upcasting, you could cast it up to 7th level, but you don't have a slot, ready yet. You'll have to rest first.
Okay. So I guess I'll have to meditate for 4 hours, then try.
Unless you want to do... Yeah, I mean, you have Cure Wounds at level 1, but even that upcast to 3, you're pretty confident that would not be enough.
I'll try it anyway.
Okay. Then you very carefully kind of just put your hand on her shoulder and channeling through the Wood Sage's chorus, you feel the spell, the kind of limited energy of a 1st level spell expend through it. She kind of sits up. She says, "I feel it, but." You can see her kind of trying to move her legs, and they're just not moving.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to do it.
I'll have to try Greater Restoration after I rest.
Well, I mean, go right ahead. I don't know that I'm going to be able to sleep after all this anyways. I really want to just read over all of your notes if you don't mind so that I can copy them. So you're welcome to my bed if you just want to take a nap, and I'll just quietly read in here if you don't mind.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay. So you're going to go sleep for 4 hours then?
Yep.
All right. So she actually, we'll go ahead and assume that Arteme is going to do her long rest here, guys. So for her, it'll be 4 hours. You guys still need the rest of your time, of course. Just high elves don't need the full... or Monodoran elves, rather, don't need the full 8 hours. All right, then, Fox, I didn't want to, not have Fox part of the conversation part here, but that's what you're choosing to do, so that's totally fine, Fox. I don't want you to feel like you're, not welcome in the conversation portion of it, so...
Oh, yeah, no, it's just... Yeah, no, it's just I'd want to do this for her as soon as possible, so...
Sure, that's fair. All right, then, you guys see Leary go back into the tent with Arteme, and then you don't see them come back out, so... Go ahead. You guys can resume your conversations or whatever else you're doing for the evening.
So Nazim, do you have to sleep all at night, or do you just kind of hover or like something?
Pogo was so stuck on the hovering thing. Like, do you touch the ground? Can you sit on chairs? Like, the hovering thing is all Pogo cares
like
about.
maybe you've got a really bad grass allergy.
I am the floor is lava champion of this year.
Probably. I was playing that game when I was a wee little child.
But yes, I
I'll
rest.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna
Yeah,
step away
alright.
for a minute.
Okay.
All right. Hate to see you go, but love to watch you. She's gone. All right.
I'll be right back.
Oh, this is strong.
Yeah, you said a whole cup too, by the way. For a 40-pound Pogo, it's probably like a thimble that you really need.
Or a shot glass.
Probably not even that. Shit, for 40 pounds, yeah.
I just
Especially
realized.
for old wine.
When are we gonna sleep? Would you seriously though? Do you need sleep? Because me and this big guy eventually have to rest.
Oh yes, I rest.
I would have left the tent and given them their tents first.
Okay.
Yay, tents.
Okay, so I should also make Nazim his own tent. So I'm gonna make him a backpack, a tent, and a water skin.
Well, you're making notes for that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because you can't do that while you're asleep or while you're meditating for the 4 hours. So okay.
No, but I'm gonna go kill stuff after I meditate and then start on that.
Okay.
Why don't we? I mean, do you want to, Arteme, when she throws the tents out? Do you want to? Maybe you can make like one of your 3-fort things. We can all be in that, or do you not want to do that?
I'm fine bunking with Larry.
All right.
That means fuck all of you.
What a god.
She's going to be
What a
sleeping
god.
in a nice bed.
I swear, if we go to sleep and someone steals these gold bars from my prison wallet, he's so set.
You'll be fine.
What's
Right,
Sarah doing?
Nora.
What's Sarah doing, Becky? You said she
when
was
I
going.
when I walk off, I'm gonna get far enough away so no one can hear me, and then I'm going to contact Ozzy and just be like, "Hey, just a heads up, when we show up tomorrow with our new friend, do not mention that we killed the Warrior of Chaos. Okay? Just don't, not even bring it up.
Okay.
Not at all."
Hang on 1 second. I need to look at something real quick here. I gotta check something here. Hang on. There are certain things you guys don't know yet that could have an impact, so I gotta make sure. No, I think you're okay. All right, never mind. Okay, then you get a groggy reply a few seconds later. Sarah, I appreciate the message. I was having the most wonderful dream, and this is a much worse experience than the one I was just having. So I'm going to go back to sleep. I won't mention the warrior. Good, and he gets halfway through saying goodnight, and then he cuts off.
And then I'll head back.
Okay.
Hey, Norok, do you mind if I share a tent with you? I'm scared that someone might try to murder me in my sleep.
All right, fine, but no snoring.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe I do snore. I'll try not to.
I think we need like a note thing to where we could like write in a notebook and it appears in another notebook, so that way we don't wake people up. To send messages.
Like a message snooze.
Kind of, yeah.
I could just sent it in the morning. I could just woke up done in the morning.
Like a text, just put his cell phone on silent, and you text him to him, so he can read it in the morning.
Kind of like that, but like either a magic marker that shows up on like 2 parchments or something. Or
So
something like that.
that's what's called a scroll of a telescription, anyways, and that's what Becky had, or what Sarah has with Corin Santalis.
Okay, we need one of those with Ozzy.
Yeah, but with Ozzy, yeah, he's 2 time zones ahead of you guys. You guys are quite a ways west of him. So you guys, when you do this at 10 o'clock at night and it's already midnight his time, then you end up waking him up almost every night. But
Didn't think about that.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily mind. It's just, he just fell back asleep as he was describing back to Sarah. Not that the rest of you know this anyways, but...
While everyone's looking at each other and just kind of, and Nazim can tell that something is kind of being spoken and unspoken. I'm just kind of whipping my head back and forth as natural as Mark Zuckerberg in a Lieutenant Commander Data way.
In a Senate meeting?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to bed, guys, and then I'm gonna crawl in my tent and have Noctua keep an eye on Nazim and wake me up if he does anything weird.
Okay. She flutters, she just flutters around outside as you instruct her what to do telepathically, and then settles at the crest of the tent and just sits there. You hear an occasional who.
I really want to find some way to just tie up our tent, but I'm scared because if I wake up and I have to pee, I don't know where I'm going to pee, so I'm not going to tie up the tent. Okay.
Did Ben already fall asleep?
No, I'm just hoping if I ignore him, that he'll just go to sleep. So. I'm just going to turn around and not face him.
We'll not sleep.
Maybe he'll stop.
Just try to keep just in case those dwarves get sticky dwarf fucking sausage fingers. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Then Norok, Sarah, and Pogo all going to sleep. Arteme already asleep. Nazim, they all kind of settle into these. They build these fur tents that are obviously handmade but very well crafted. They look durable, like they would withstand a decent wilderness timeout. Anyways, there are plenty of tents around. There's a very large one that most of the miners have gone into, or the people working this place have gone into, where it looks like there would probably be extra bunks in there. So there are places that you can go just to get some rest easily over the night, if that's what you're going to do.
Or there's Pogo's tent if you want to try and squish into it because he's not using it.
That's true. He is in Norok's tent, so there is one extra tent just sitting there, actually.
Nice. I'll give everyone a nice head nod and a wrist wave good night as they leave and turn away from me. And I'll just use the tent that's been abandoned.
Okay.
If that's okay.
All right, then you build a halfling-sized tent and climb inside. About knee down is just sticking out of the edge of the tent for you as you lay down. So I mean, you're from knee up, you're covered inside the tent while your feet are just sticking out, basically. But you make your way into this halfling tent and make yourself comfortable.
Did Pogo really have a small Pogo-sized tent? He wouldn't just have a normal tent.
No, specifically when Arteme made them, she had a small amount of material left over and made a small tent for Pogo. So, yeah, I remember her saying that specifically because she had to make a large one for Norok, which left a little bit of material, and she made a small one for Pogo with that. I think that's what it was. Isn't that right, Fox?
Yeah, because and I asked, did you want a normal size one or is a small one okay? And you're like, I don't care. So you got a small one for now. But if you do want a bigger tent, I can make a bigger one.
Oh, no, I don't care. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for carrying shit, too, because you wouldn't want to lug around, a full-size tent if you didn't need it. So.
Yeah, because I thought everybody was going to lug their own tents, but they're like, no, we're just putting this all in the bag of holding. Okay.
Okay. All right, then everybody heading to sleep then?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Then, in that case, I wasn't exactly expecting this here, but for a very quick moment here, everybody give me... everybody give me perception checks. Sako,
Do I need to do one for Noctua?
Oops.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and make one for Noctua as well. Sako, okay, yeah, you found it. All right. I wasn't sure if you remembered where to do it or not, so.
20, baby! Thank God, Norok, you're going to let people steal our shit.
Yeah, there's... Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to roll it with advantage. It didn't work.
Oh, you're fine.
There.
14's better.
Yeah, that's better.
You got Noctua coming too, Sarah? That's 0. You were sleeping like the dead after... you got literally a 0. Sleeping like the dead after going unconscious. That's fair. All right, but at least she's out there keeping an eye out for you. All right. All right, we'll come back to that in a moment then. Very quickly then, Norok, I guess repeated. You've probably had this dream, half a dozen times at this point, but for who knows how many times, let's say half a dozen or so, you again through this dreamy haze stand in that same too small waiting room. Looking down, you see that same chair that you sat in on that day, and behind the oaken countertop is Sorsha, and she's still looking healthy and normal like she did back then, before the Albashar and becoming a cannibal, all that stuff. Deeply sad look in her eyes, kind of trembling a little bit, like she might be a little bit scared. She says, "We knew you'd come eventually. He's been expecting you. He's in there. And she kind of points at the door.
All right. Again, when I look around, everything seems the same as the last 7, 8 times, whatever that I've had this dream. In the room that I'm standing in with Sorsha in the waiting, or in the lobby, or whatever this would be.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Yeah. Various bottles all over the place. It looks. I mean, you were certainly very. What's the word I'm looking for? Like not tense. There was a lot of chaos in the moment when you were there originally. So if anything, it looks clearer now than it did then, because at that time you were probably not, exactly focused on
Distraught?
the situation. Yeah, there you go, distraught.
Okay.
So if anything, it looks like a lot sharper now. It doesn't look as foggy as it did, even though you're kind of in a dream-like haze. And it's a dream. This isn't real. It's just, this is, many times of having experienced the same thing.
All right, so I'm gonna just touch the counter, kick the counter. It's solid. I can feel it.
Yeah, you walk up. As soon as you approach the counter, Sorsha kind of backs away, and you hear the bottles rattle as she kind of backs into the cupboard behind her, and they kind of rattle a little bit when she bumps it. She doesn't look afraid of you all that much, but she definitely looks scared, and she kind of bumps at the counter. But yeah, the countertop feels solid. It seems about as real as it can be, even though it's a dream.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at her and say, you look a hell of a lot better now. You're not gonna like the future. And then I'm gonna go into the room where the doctor and my wife and everything are.
Now she definitely looks afraid of you when you say that. Now it seems like the fear kind of moved in your direction when you said that. And you hear her repeat, actually, and it's funny that every time that you have this dream, she always specifically says, "He's been expecting you. He's in there." Like those words kind of stick in your mind because she repeats that every time. And you hear kind of murmur that a little bit, like it's almost on repeat, like it's an automatic response as opposed to something that she's naturally trying to say. You head for the door. As soon as you kind of reach for the doorknob, it's closed this time. It's usually open, but it's closed this time. And you reach for the doorknob. There's still a window in it, so you can see right through it. There's a table on the left, and you always go around and look around the table and find nothing there generally. But you go to open the door, and as soon as you reach for the doorknob, kind of preparing to look behind the counter once you go through it, there's a stirring nearby. And you hear a man's voice shout a very like a frustrated curse word, like you might make if you stubbed your toe in the middle of the night, kind of thing. And your feral instincts wake you up rapidly, and your eyes snap open back in the real world. And I'll move you guys back here. There you go. And it sounds like there's someone digging through a tent nearby, and your friends, footfalls and breathing and like the ambient noise that everybody makes. And this your feral instincts tell you this is an intruder. This person shouldn't be here. Your eyes snap awake. You're the only one awake. As far as you know, anyways.
Okay. I'm grabbing Vulcan because, again, that'd be my instincts when I'm still half asleep instead of the sword first. So I'm going to grab Vulcan and get up and go try to...
Do I wake up at all hearing him get up?
Yeah, I would say that him moving wakes you up, Pogo. Arteme, you've already finished it, so you're actually still awake because this is after the original 4 hours, Arteme.
Okay.
So you're actually conscious already, but you're not hearing anything. You just hear Norok getting up.
Okay. Have I already tried the greater restoration on Leary since I did that right when I woke up? Because how long has it been since?
Yeah, because she would have been awake. So just sorry, guys. I should have put that in already. I'm sorry. It's actually been past the 4 hours where she would have finished her rest, if that makes sense. So just very quickly then, Arteme. You after waking up from the 4 hour trance essentially and recovering your magical capacity, still holding or putting the Wood Sage's chorus back on. Leary has her back to you, still sitting in her chair at a table nearby with a very small candle, very dim light that she's reading over your notebooks.
Okay. So I'm just gonna use greater restoration. It's not letting me up level it because I don't have those slots yet. So I'm just gonna cast it.
We'll do it manually for now. That's fine.
Okay.
It still will cost you the 5th level spell slot.
Yes.
You would be casting as if it's 7. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see with how that works. All right, you just stepping out of the bed kind of silently, especially with the boots, unless you took them off. You don't make any sound, and she seems to be just transfixed by your notes. She's like doesn't notice that you're there at all until you walk over and then rest your hand on her shoulder. You channel the greater restoration from the dental reel through the Wood Sage's chorus, murmuring the incantation for it. You feel it leave your hand, clearly empowered far more than any magical capability you've ever cast your entire life. and it kind of pours in through her shoulder, and she kind of she straightens up, like her back straightens up in the chair, kind of surprised by the touch at first, and then she's just like giggling with glee as she looks down, and you see her knees kind of very carefully, very slowly start to her legs underneath the blanket start to, like her thighs where she's sitting in the chair, kind of jitter a little bit. She says, "Oh my God, that hurts! Oh, that hurts! Oh, that hurts!" And she starts kind of shaking them back and forth. It's like my legs are asleep, and she's kind of like shaking them back and forth, and it's actually a little bit loud. This is still too early, so the rest of you guys wouldn't be waking up from this. So the rest of you guys are still asleep. Sorry, I was going to say whether you guys would have heard Larry through the tent or not. Well, this is before. Yeah, this okay. I messed up. I messed up on the timeline. That was closer to morning time when you had that dream, G. So this is still a few hours before that, basically. But she kind of looks up, like there's tears streaking down her cheeks as she looks up at you. She says, I mean, it hurts, but I can feel them. It hurts, but I can feel it." But she looks back down again. She's like clearly giddy, just bouncing her knees back and forth as the pins and needles effect is starting to kind of settle in, where the nerves are coming back to life.
I'm just gonna kiss her cheek and say, hopefully the pain doesn't last too long.
Oh, honestly, I would take it. That'd be fine as long as I can hopefully stand up. And she kind of starts to kind of sit up a little.
I'm gonna help her a bit to stand and tell her to take it slow.
She gets halfway up. She's like, "Oh, that's not gonna work. All right, let me just. I'm gonna give it a minute." And she sits back down. Legs be like if your legs are asleep and you try to stand up, how you can't really put any weight on them. She kind of falls back down into the chair. She's like, "But it's working though. It's." "Oh, I'm so happy!" And she kind of grabs your hand and is she just seems completely elated. Probably the happiest you've ever seen her. Being able to hopefully get the use of her legs back.
Yay!
All right. Then I guess what are you doing for the next few hours? Because you're going to have a couple more hours before everybody else is awake.
I'm going
just a quick overview.
To go hunting.
Okay. All right. Then we will, while we're doing that, give me 3 survival checks, Fox. Must be 1 for each hour that you have before the rest of the group is waking up. While you're rolling, though, let's see. Okay. You have almost no difficulty. It's quiet, and there's just a very thin rain, but between the rain and the helpful winds. The wind is kind of in your favor at this time. You managed to bring down an apex deer without any difficulty whatsoever, and bring it back to camp. You still probably an hour or so of cleaning time and everything before you hear this movement in Norok's tent of him waking up.
Okay.
Okay, Norok, you wake surprised, like I said, knowing there's an intruder nearby. You just know it, and you wake up. Pogo, you kind of snap awake, seeing Norok like jumping up inside the tent. He almost bangs, lifts the tent up with his head because he stands up too fast, grabbing Vulcan and rushing out of the tent.
Shh! I'm trying to sleep, and I'm gonna check to make sure I still have my. Oh, okay.
Check to make sure you still have what?
My gold bars.
Okay.
Okay.
Norok, you step out the tent. What are you doing?
I'm gonna move in the direction that I heard the sound. Trying to not just smash, but move in that direction and see if I can see what's going on.
Okay. It seemed like it was right outside the tent. Like it was rustling, like somebody was digging through bags or something, like moving stuff around, things that were jingling together and making noise. But the footfalls and the coughing and the curse word definitely did not sound like any of your friends.
Okay, and did it sound like it's right at the tent? So when I step out, I don't see anything, I'm assuming.
No, you don't see anything. Everything looks normal. It's quiet. It's early dawn. The sun's starting to come up, so it's getting brighter out. But the tents are quiet. The campsite's quiet. Some of the tents have lights on inside. Like the people might be starting to wake up, but that's about it.
Do I see anything that looks like moving? Is there any types of footprints in the mud or the grass? Is there branches rustling or anything that seems like anything might be moving?
Give me a survival check with advantage.
Okay. It's a hold down shift, right?
Yes, but I think just go ahead and do it anyways. But normally if you click it, I think it'll give you the prompt where you can click advantage or disadvantage. I may have to check that again. Okay.
All right, it didn't work when I held down shift. So I'm
just do it again. That's fine, yeah.
Oh, and then also, did I sleep long enough for the exhaustion to pop off, or did I get my full rest yet?
You know what it actually is? It's really basically at the end of your full rest anyways for everybody.
Okay.
So your long rest, or your exhaustion will come off. So that minus that d4 actually, which means that you got a 13, which makes that a 19. Your first roll is a 19. And I'll take that. In fact, actually, you can do it yourself. I'll show you how to do it real quick so that you know how to, because you get exhaustion the most often. If you go to the effects on your character sheet,
All right.
on the right side where you see it says temporary effects, exhaustion 1, just hit the trash can.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and that'll come off, and then it won't apply the exhaustion anymore. All right. You kind of snap head left, right, or left, and then snap it to the right, holding your Vulcan breaker like just underneath the head, like you're getting ready. Like the way that you would need to if you needed to throw it. You're prepared to kind of launch it at somebody if you see something, because there's clearly nothing that's within striking distance. You don't see anything at first, and you look over to the right where you guys were sitting the night before, where all of you were kind of in a circle and talking with Nazim, and you look over there, and there are footprints in the mud that were not there last night. You're certain they were not there last night. They're about probably, let's say like modern day times, they're probably size 12-ish. Like they're pretty big feet, but still human size, you think. But they're definitely were not there last night.
I will move in that direction.
Okay. You follow them. They leave the area for a short bit. They just kind of out into the brush, and then they disappear into some bushes out there. The footprints do. Anybody else doing anything?
I'm dreaming about making love to numbers of women inside a giant wheel of cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarah got a 0. She's passed out.
Okay.
I don't
Arteme,
know if Noctua is doing anything.
Noctua would be seeing him, but unless you told her to alert you if Norak gets up, this won't look different enough, I guess.
No,
necessarily
I
to wake
told
you
her to
up.
watch Nazim.
Okay, yeah, Nazim. So both Arteme and Nazim. Arteme, you would hear Norak kind of getting up in a huff, probably, and then like leaving camp. But that's about it. So how you would react to that's up to you. Nazim, you would have heard him get up also, and kind of be moving around nearby. You're still feet sticking out of the edge of the tent. So what are the two of you guys doing?
I'm just going to do a quick sit-up, and the whole tent's just going to come up.
Yeah, it's a bit small for that.
So all you see is just a tent straight up with legs hanging out, and then kind of forcefully pull the tent off like a sweater. And,
Okay.
Look around and keep an eye on him walking away just to make sure he's safe.
Okay. Yeah, you see him. You can still see him. He's not so far into the brush that he's invisible anymore, or yet rather. But he kind of, it looks like he's looking at the ground and following tracks. It seems like, and then he goes out into the brush a little ways. How about you, Arteme?
Am I still in? I'd be coming back right now. So
Yeah. So you've been back for about an hour at this point, cleaning the deer.
okay. Well, if there's a disturbance, would I have seen the disturbance, or was this before I got back?
You heard you were cleaning the deer for 45 minutes at this point, and then you hear Norak wake up with a start and rush out of his tent holding his axe, and then he looks down at the ground and starts running out of the camp, following something on the ground.
Okay, I'll go follow to help him track.
Okay. All right, you're still covered in blood, and you kind of set down your flensing knife and follow after him. Norak, you hear Arteme approaching from behind, but you see the tracks disappear into the brush.
All right.
Okay.
When I kind of part the bushes a little bit, is it just more growth, or does it seem like there's an clearing?
It's really dense.
Other signs of anything moving?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like it continues out into the brush, and the trail, like it could have turned. You don't know. You'd have to, even then, even if you could pour over it, the ground where the brush is it's not muddy anymore, so it probably wouldn't have left a footprint. You're a really good tracker, but in this situation, it's just not something you think you can follow.
Yeah. All right, I'll turn back around then.
Okay. You turn back. You turn back around and see Arteme standing there, staring at you.
Can I follow the tracks?
You can give me a survival check. Norak is telling you that that they die here, but
Okay, not with that.
Always worth a shot, but yeah.
Yeah, seeing that he was looking for something out in the bushes, is there a way that I can just kind of float as high as I possibly can and just look around, see if I can see anything moving in the brush in the distance?
How tall can you go? Basically, you're going to start hitting underbrush or trees anyways when you get up. But
Yeah, I don't float very high, but at least it's higher than just eye level.
it's 2 feet off the ground. Yeah, so you would be at eye level with with Norok when you do that.
Yeah.
Because he's tall. But yeah, but I mean, you still can. And looking down, you see the tracks that he points out to you. That you're pretty confident. Also, we're not there the night before. But yeah, you don't see anything necessarily that they don't already track. They're both proficient in survival for tracking, is all.
I'm going to tell them what I heard. But sounded like somebody hurt themselves or stubbed their toe or some kind of crap, and then like they're rustling through a bag and left. So, and then obviously you guys see where the tracks went, and that was it. So, not sure what it was.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
Well, let's
No
go.
one woke Pogo up, so Pogo's still sleeping.
Well, you were woken up by Norok. You just chose to go
Yeah.
back to sleep. So
He just
Well,
kinda
no,
checked on the
he
wall.
just kind of woke up and left. I don't know.
if he
Pogo's
left in a
gonna-
hurry, he was obviously chasing something. So
Hang on,
Say
hang
I
on,
will
hang on.
wait 5 minutes, and then noticing he didn't come back, then I'll get and see what I can see outside. But I'm not gonna.
Okay, then with you also getting up, I'm gonna go ahead and say that Noctua would recognize that something strange is happening, and that Nazim has gotten up. So Noctua makes a kind of a loud telepathic hooing sound in your mind, Sarah, waking you up very groggily, very awkwardly. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you first of all of you guys, you finish your long rest, of course, but after that very long and arduous journey recovering the Wood Sage's chorus. Presumably so you guys can heal the Cyrodiil Ben Maibi. Everybody will be leveling up to 10.
Okay.
So excited, obviously.
Yes.
What?
Very
We're at
excited.
10 already?
Okay. Can I? I want to change into a fox and then try and see if I could sniff out the intruder.
Okay. Go ahead and use your wild shape.
I don't remember how.
Okay. Let's see. It's in your wild shape uses. You click that. And since we don't need to change the token, it doesn't matter. You can actually just click the wild shape thing to spend the use for it. We don't need to change. Actually,
Okay, I found it.
yeah. Let me put the
Use
fox
stability.
stats on here.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Your fox shape, because we will need those stats actually. You can actually drag that over as well, but I'll go ahead and do it for you real quick. Wild shape. There you go. All right, you are now in fox form.
Okay.
You see that? You see your character sheet with the fox.
No, I don't. So I just drag the fox onto my icon.
If you go to your if you go back to the character sheet in the actor list, you'll see
Yeah.
Arteme with fox in parentheses now. You should see.
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I now
that's
see
your-
it. Okay,
that's your
I
fox
opened
character
it. Okay.
sheet. Okay. So you in front of Pogo, you come out of the tent. You see Arteme and Norok talking. Sarah, you're kind of being woken by that. Nazim standing there staring, floating a little bit and staring at them. You see Arteme
What are-
shapeshift
What are
into
we all looking at? What's going on?
Pogo, rejoining the rest of the group as Arteme shapeshifts down into the tiny fox form and darts off in through the brush.
Why are we doing that? What are we going in the brush for? There's exploding plants.
Arteme, with your fox shape, give me a perception check with advantage. Because it's keen senses and smell.
Okay, so
Seraphina?
advantage was what? Shift or control?
It's shift normally, but Ben just tried it and it didn't work. So if you when you guys just click it, does it give you the box pop up that asks if you want to roll it with advantage or not?
No.
Okay. That's default settings. That's fine.
What?
All right, 16. That's sleight of
I
hand,
would-
actually.
Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong one.
No problem. We'll just use the roll. Hang
Seeing
on.
that, I would put my hand on Pogo.
Anyway, hey,
Why? How damn you!
if you're within 30 feet of me, go ahead and re-roll that
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna use the roll that she made anyways. I'm just gonna use the correct modifier for it, which is only an additional +1. I wasn't gonna make you actually use the new D20 roll, Fox. It's just extra funny to me that it is a natural one, of course.
Okay, so it'd be 17.
Yeah, it'd be 17.
No, okay, perfect.
Yeah, with advantage is 17. You sniffing in through the brush. It is you're kind of, instead of following the tracks, you're trying to follow the smell, and it is a familiar smell. You know, or Arteme knows this person. It's a you would probably recognize it. You think it's just a matter of maybe matching it. Give me. This is going to be a tough one, trying to remember a specific person's smell that you don't see very often necessarily. Give me a... what skill would that be? I guess perception, really, because it is smell. No, it's really, I guess probably memory is closest. So it's going to be an intelligence check. We'll add your proficiency to it, too. So give me a flat intelligence check.
Through the fox form or the other one?
Actually, your mental stats are your own, so it would be your regular stats.
Okay, hang on. Let me find the pop-out window for that.
You can, if you click the top, well, you actually don't need to restore yet, but you can, if you just roll a d20, I'll do the math for you. It's fine. You can
So,
roll a flat d20.
which one was it again?
Just roll the d20 from the chat box at the bottom.
Okay.
And your intelligence modifier is a +1.
Alright, if Seraphina saw her turn into a fox, she would have put her hand on Pogo's shoulder and sent Noctua after her.
Okay. Then,
hi.
Look through her eyes.
Pogo, very groggy Pogo, you look over, expecting to see Sarah.
We're doing this again, all right.
Well, expecting to see Sarah, and then you see her eyes go this milky white, very awkward, like, kind of creepy look to her.
I guess
Still with creepiness even nearby, too. Noctua goes flying after Fox or Arteme, rather, in fox shape as she bounds through the brush there. You're not... the scent is dissipating on the wind, and it's not grasping who this is. You definitely know it, but it's just not enough of a flash of memory to remind you, to tell you who it is.
Damn it. Can I still follow the scent a bit, or not really?
That was it. That was the extent of it there.
Damn. Okay,
with
I try.
The survival check and the perception check. Yeah, you actually got closer. If you had rolled higher on that intelligence check, it could have been, but... But that's it. Noctua is kind of flapping above you.
Okay.
Does she hear or see anything?
Owls aren't great for smell, and there wouldn't be anything visually or sight, visually rather, or hearing to see anything left of. So there wouldn't really be anything. It would be basically not within possible rolls for her to be able to find anything by those senses.
Okay, was anything stolen?
You don't know. You'll have to check bags and stuff.
Okay. Whose tent was it, though?
You have to go back and ask Norak.
Okay. I'll go back and swap back to my normal form.
Okay. At the top of the Arteme Fox character sheet, there's a button that says Restore Transformation. Click that. You see that up at the top?
Yep, found it. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Then
I was looking for...
You're fine. You guys see Artemis Fox shape return to the camp, and then kind of grow back up to her normal height and her normal form. All of you kind of gathered. It's still pretty quiet out here in the middle of this group. Nazim maybe a little bit awkwardly seeing what they're doing here. What are you guys doing?
We had an intruder in the camp, heard somebody rustling through a bag, and then run off and hurt themselves, apparently, in the process. They went that way, and I'll point the direction that it went, and we lost the trail.
What bag?
Wait. Was there blood? Because I could have tracked the smell of the blood.
I did not look for that. That's a good question.
You didn't see any. Yeah, I mean, in the survival check of looking around, I'll tell you that there doesn't appear to be any as far as you guys can tell.
Okay, so if they got hurt, they wrapped up the wound. Gotcha.
It didn't sound like a serious injury. Like as Norak would describe it, it would have been like a cry of frustration. Maybe not even pain, but frustration, like an annoyed fuck.
Who's leaving their bags out here? No, it wasn't our bags, was it? I think I've got mine.
I will check what's in my bag just to make sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll look through our tent and our bags. Well, my bag.
Okay. Is everybody doing the same?
Yeah, but I had my bag in Leary's tent and nobody came in, so...
Nazim, you checking your stuff too?
Nazim's just patting down his pockets, making sure everything's in his pockets.
Okay. Nice. The homes of Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell are vandalized.
Good.
If only they would be burned down as well, both of them. Maybe with a minute. Anyway,
I get Mitch McConnell's a lot more than Nancy Pelosi.
I fucking hate both of them. I can't stand the extreme left or the extreme right. But I do hate Mitch McConnell more. I hate both of them, sure. Mitch McConnell's a little bit higher because of the current administration, certainly. But when he has less power, he's still a turtle. That both of them worthy of murder, absolutely.
Is that why people are leaving straws and plastic outside his house just to let nature take its course?
Yeah.
So the turtle can choke on it. The 6-pack plastic rings, they're just leaving those on his lawn. Anyways, Fox, I'll take a look at that here in a bit.
Okay.
So you guys all spend then a few minutes going through pockets and bags and all of your various means of storage, and nobody finds anything missing. Everything seems to be there.
Does it look like the area around, like where it was happening? What's there? Is in that?
I'll tell it to you this way: you guys have no idea where anything was happening. So as Norok described it, he was hearing the sounds right outside of his tent, but he came outside and there isn't a tent nearby. There isn't a bag nearby. There's nothing nearby that would have, basically, as Norok, as you heard it, it would have sounded like the tent next to yours. But you go outside, there isn't a tent next to yours. It's just there's tents all around, but it sounded like it was closer than what you saw when you left the tent, if that makes sense. But there wasn't it's not like there's boxes sitting out with bags that somebody could have been rifling through, if that makes sense.
Are any of the items that we got from the temple are missing?
Don't appear to be. Literally everything that you guys, take a moment to look for is there.
Okay, but the scent was familiar.
Yep. You're just struggling to place it. You know, it smelled like somebody you know. It smelled like a person that you know, but you just couldn't, place it before it was gone. You maybe, needed a more time with it, basically, more sample size to really jog the memory.
Okay.
Well, then, sounds like Norok might just be going crazy a little bit. Having some bad dreams or something and just hearing things in the middle of the night.
That doesn't explain the smell.
Yeah,
What
if
smell?
Arteme mentions a smell, I'm just gonna start randomly naming off names and see if anything clicks of the people that we've met since I've known Arteme.
Okay.
You've got a very good, keen sense of smell.
When I change into a fox or a wolf or anything else with a keen sense of smell, yes.
Are you still a fox?
No!
Change back.
No, okay. So I was just curious.
Yes, I'm a talking fox.
All right. I mean, you say that as if that's that weird of a thing.
We are playing
You have a
D&D
whip,
after all.
Yeah. Your whip apparently eats tiny bites off of people.
I have fox ears and twin tails that turn into 9 when I feel like it.
I mean, the sun's coming up, so it's not like we did get a great night's sleep. We could just start to take the long
Bones.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys doing?
yeah, whatever we're going to help with that. How's your aunt's doing?
Okay, oh, right. I'm gonna go see if she can walk now.
By
Okay.
the way,
By
the
now.
thing on your head looked very pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't
That's
forget
probably
we have
the
to
most-
return that.
That's probably the most genuine thing I've ever heard Arteme say to Pogo before. That actually sounded like a legitimate thank you, not like a veiled fuck you.
Wait. I can do it. Thanks. That's my impression.
It didn't sound suspicious, that's what I'm saying. Normally anything Arteme says to Pogo
sounded good.
is suspicious.
Wow.
It is. Yeah, I mean, with good reason.
Yeah.
Pogo's a little bit of a jerk to Arteme, so. All right. But you head back into the tent, and she is kind of just up on she's still testing it seems, but she's standing up in front of the chair and kind of just doing, what calf raises are? Just kind of standing up on her tippy toes and then settling back down. On her tippy toes, settling back down. But, standing in front of the chair, still kind of occasionally leaning down to grab it. She says, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm gonna walk out of this camp today.
Yay! I'm gonna give her a hug. And then pick up the venison I had left.
Sure. Then, okay, so you guys, gather up your things, and you guys, tearing down tents, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave her part of the meat and prepare the rest with a bit of salt, and then I need to add salt to my herb pouch.
Okay. All right. Then you, it's going to take you a while. You were nearly done cleaning it, but if you're going to leave some of it for them anyways, then it's just a matter of packing up as much as you're going to take with you in paper and so on and put it in the bag. The bag itself is a bit of a preserving mechanism anyway, since there isn't any air in it. But, you manage to take those, gather the leathers are still messy, but you can wrap them up in paper and put them in the bag as well for later use. You'll still have to tan them and everything.
Yep.
Okay, then you gather up all your supplies, all your tent materials and so on. Leary kind of steps outside of the very cautiously out the front of the tent. Still you can see that she's still leaning against the chair behind her a little bit. So are you all are you leaving? Will you be coming back?
Fucking hope not. I'm mumbling under my breath.
Pardon me?
Maybe?
Okay.
We do have a few things to do, and we have to get back to cure my Eevee to try and save the world, so... Not sure when I'll be back?
I mean, if you make it back to Merethalis or anything, then, let me know, please. It was wonderful seeing you, and I don't think I can even say thank you. That just seems so silly and trite, really, just kind of looking down at her knees. But, it was so nice to see you. She's
likewise. It's been a while.
She seems like she's struggling a little bit with you getting ready to leave.
I'll give her another hug and wave.
Okay. And she sees you guys on your way. You guys heading out of camp. The camp is already starting to kind of wake back up, and people are heading out to begin their digs and so on. As you make your way out of the dig site at Omal Nalore, rather, heading south. Into that's not quite indicative, but it was the first one that I pulled up. By chance, and I doubt anybody would, because this is just too obscure. Ben, do you recognize that? Maybe Sokka, or Justin, actually, any of the three of you guys may recognize it, maybe. It's just...
Okay, that is pretty, and can you send it to me, because I want to try and put that as my background picture, because it is pretty.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's a good old RPG.
I kind of want to say Final
Justin,
Fantasy Tactics, but...
All right, so both of you are on the right track. Anything, G?
The problem is a still frame. I'm not used to a still frame. Maybe
the shot goes up.
I don't know.
So what it's actually from, and this is like I would never have gotten it because it's actually the from Final Fantasy VI, the battle background when you're fighting Vargas, specifically when Sabin's fighting Vargas in the mountains. Remember, that's the background from it.
Okay.
And it just happened to come up. What's that?
Yeah. I was wondering how you found it.
So I was specifically looking for a bunch of kind of flat landscape type backgrounds that I could use for scenes like this, right? And one of the ones that came up was just a list of all of the backgrounds from the Final Fantasy games. I'm like, oh, that's fucking perfect. Like some of those would be, because they're a little bit video gamey, but I kind of like that pixel art style, anyways, right? Hence the Guile conversation earlier, Justin, that I will not let go. But I just said it to you, Fox. But yeah,
okay, so the leaves aren't a part of it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. No, the leaves are not part of it.
I thought they were. It's fine.
The leaves are from Foundry. It's just the background thing, sorry. Anyways, back in narrative here, you guys making your way south, you have to kind of go through a good bit of the jungle and then back upwards into the mountains a little ways.
I'm keeping an eye for any exploding things on the floor.
Well, it's actually...
trees that might try to bite me.
Right. You're actually kind of leaving the diseased part, if that makes sense. That you're kind of getting further and further away from the destruction that the Vine Lash, which is, for Sokko's case, the Vine Lash from Balance. Sokko, do you remember? It was the artifact that Becky's character Nivara made,
whip or something like that.
Yeah, the whip. Yeah, that she made when it was when you guys, when the Balance cast, when you guys had put those artifacts back to the Idriline, back into the world. The destruction that it wrought is on this island. It wiped this island out where these elves are from the Balance campaign. Sokko played Balance with us. He was one of the main characters in there. So anyway, so Nazim of course wouldn't know any of that, but you're kind of leaving the swath that the Vine Lash destruction had wrought and returning to much more natural forests and mountains, not really the kind of humid jungle appearance. As soon as you kind of make your way back up into the cliffs and up into the mountains there.
This is
Wouldn't
better.
he know that?
I like
though?
this.
Well, I mean, he would know from the Vast Erudition, yes. He would know that portion of it. I just meant that he doesn't know what Peter knew, is what I'm saying. That Nazim isn't Peter, obviously, so he doesn't have that knowledge of it. He doesn't have the
deets.
Yeah, the intricate
Specifics.
details, I guess, of that. Yeah, like the first-person knowledge, I guess is how I'd say it. So, anyways, but you guys make your way back up to the mountains. What was Pogo saying?
Oh, I was just gonna talk to Arteme a little bit and be like, "Is this what the island used to look like? Because this is actually beautiful."
Yeah, this is what the island used to look like before the calamity.
This is gorgeous. Was this like how it was when you grew up?
Plus, there wasn't
nice.
exploding plants everywhere.
Yeah, they're terrifying. I don't mind this. This I could get used to.
Yeah, the lowlands were still a little bit more humid when you were growing up. You know, there was a little closer to the kind of, dangerous jungle that it is now, but not diseased and not, dripping everywhere with gross, slimy, diseased water and shit like that. It was a little more kind of natural, obviously, before the Vine Lash destroyed it.
Out of curiosity, are we going the same direction as the footsteps were heading in the jungle?
No, actually, those footsteps were basically heading like back towards Tekwith or back towards Tahakapan. So they were leaving the same way that you guys came into camp, which was heading from north to south, and you guys are going further south right now.
Ah,
yeah.
Great. And we made sure that Eckerd was dead, right?
Yes.
He definitely looked pretty dead. I mean, Nazim blasted him with that electricity, and he stopped moving before the second blast. Nazim used Eldritch Blast.
When we grabbed the stuff off of him, we checked his pulse, right?
I'll tell you too this way: you guys did take his boots and the ring and the knife and everything else, right? You did take his boots, and the prints that both Norok and Arteme saw were boot prints. They were like footprints, not human feet, but like human-sized shoe prints, essentially, if that makes sense. So, I mean, either he got some new boots and is still alive somehow, or it wasn't him. Since you guys left, you guys left a half-naked corpse in there, so.
I feel like also, I'm pretty sure, didn't you just stab him straight through his back on the ground, Serafina? Didn't you just, can't remember.
No, I kicked him.
Oh, you kicked him, all right.
I was really mad.
Well, Norok almost cleft him in twain, like basically shorter.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
He was basically almost in two pieces, and then as he was bleeding out, Nazim had floated over right as you guys were first meeting him and zapped him with Eldritch Blast, and he didn't move after that, even while you guys were taking his gear.
I just didn't want to get stabbed again, so it's fine.
If we end up running back into, sure the queen knows that we kept the that giant reptile from coming back to life.
You cut out in the middle of that. If you run into who?
Oh, the queen. If we go speak to the queen in Merethilis, the capital city, Merethilis. Yeah, we got to make sure she knows that we, kept that. What is it? That giant lizard from coming back to life.
The Iskil Tyrant.
The tyrant, yeah. We got to make sure we remind her of bravery.
That is a great idea.
It just might help.
When we return the chorus.
Exactly.
What's Nazim doing when they're having this conversation as you guys are walking?
Nazim is just kind of looking around, seemingly entertained by even the most smallest things around them. Not so much childlike, but almost as if he's rediscovering humanity, we'll say.
Okay. Just kind of observing the simple conversation they're having as they're yawning, apparently.
It's something as trivial and simple as a basic conversation, leaves, grass, things of that nature. It's entertaining and seems to be fulfilling them.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask Nazim. So I meant to ask this last night. The people that killed your master that you're searching for, are you hoping to team up with them because you want to learn from them?
No, he just wants to learn. He's attracted to power. Like that's why Margaret Thatcher is so attractive.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you weren't out for revenge because they killed your master. You were looking to them because they were stronger than your master, that kind of thing.
Any person stronger than the master is definitely an ally. So I'm here to learn from you as long as it benefits me.
Sarah breathes a big sigh of relief.
Pretty much.
Yeah, whoever killed that guy is probably very strong.
and they're not like awkwardly weird at all.
All right, you guys have a nice peaceful morning stroll. In the daylight, it's a little easier, making your way through it. It probably takes you about an hour or so to get there. Maybe a little under 45 to an hour. You make your way up the promontory near the end of the cliffs that kind of overlook the sea. It's a beautiful morning day. There's or beautiful morning sky rather. Sun's coming up in the east, and it's kind of a nice calm place, about probably as calm as you've seen on this island so far, because literally you guys walked like pretty much along even with the teleportation back to Omonalori, right through the middle of where the damage is basically done. So you're kind of just outside of that a little bit and seeing what this island probably was supposed to look like, which I would say for Artemis is probably a very heartwarming feeling to be in this, rather than the last 10 years of what it's looked like that have kind of forced you to leave the island almost. You find a nice tree up on the edge of this promontory, a decent spot maybe to bury that if you're intending to do so.
Yep.
Does this look like a good spot, guys?
Looks great.
She wanted a specific spot. Hang on, let's see.
This is the spot she had described.
Oh, okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll just bury her here.
She had told you
Man,
basically
how
the general
specific
area.
was she?
Yeah, she just told you the general area.
Make sure
This
you
is
find the
this is where you guys
tree.
were walking.
Perfect.
Let's see. 80,000 years ago it would have been about.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like she couldn't have been
the
super specific
80,000-year-old
because
tree?
because it was 200 something thousand years ago. Yeah, so.
I don't want to be a mood kill, but that same dirt that she is talking about is probably like 150 feet deep. But it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
You do know that when Artemis showed her the map, it didn't register as even the same place to her. It didn't look even close to the right. It's like basically the island didn't look like that to her back then. So it's a very different place. But she basically gave it, a general description of a cliff over the sea if you can find one. Is basically what she asked for.
Okay.
And she found one, so.
Does anyone have a shovel? Wait, are we supposed to bury it?
Yeah, we're supposed to bury her.
I have Titan, so I guess we could use that to dig.
Sure.
Oh, that would be
I'm
an
just-
awkward digging tool.
I'm just going to go ahead and
I don't have a shovel.
I'm just going to use Mage Hand to start scooping dirt out from underneath the tree.
Okay. The ground
Waving
here is
my
still a
hand
little bit
around.
soft. It's not quite the mountainous ground that it probably should be. It's still, it's maybe just barely outside the edge of the diseased portion from the vine lash, but it's still soft ground. So you're able to
I'm
kinda
going to
dig
give
out.
my dagger to my Mage Hand, and he can just kind of use
Okay.
it like a hoe and just kind
There you go.
of
Okay.
break away the dirt.
I have some torches I'll give to Pogo because he was asking for some the other day.
Okay.
I don't have.
So I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 10 because I had some, so I'm just gonna delete
10
them from
torches?
mine.
I'll tell you that
I'll take-
Pogo, even the walk up
take
here,
one
he's been
torch.
Yeah, he's been sweating a
torch.
little bit just to walk up here because he's like carrying as much as he possibly can.
Okay, so maybe not then because they're like 10 pounds.
Yeah, I'll just have a torch would be perfect. Why do you have 10 torches? You know you can reuse them. Are you time you
I just don't use torches. I use my cantrip for light.
That's fine.
I have 10 as well, which I will give to Norok because I have my dancing lights.
Okay, so I'll give one to Pogo and the other 9 to Norok, so they won't be in my inventory.
All right,
That's
Norok,
fine.
you apparently just hold your arms out while they fucking load you up with lumber. So didn't ask, Norok, do you want these? But rather, here, take these.
Put them in his bag.
And
That makes him feel better.
And so since we're on the subject, I'll tell Nazim that that's what I'm good for. I'm the pack mule and for killing shit. So that's what I'm here for.
Or Norok, can you throw me over this cliff? Things like
Yeah,
that.
and for tossing
He's
tossing
a
me.
he's a tank.
Toss me.
He's quite the tanky man.
All right, then you guys spend the next. It takes you a good bit to get a little bit of depth so that they're not just going to be dug up by wild animals. So you take a good half hour or so to dig down 4 or 5 feet, enough space. Now the bones are they're just bones. There's no flesh or anything left, of course. So it's basically pretty easy to kind of stack them all real neat. Although they kind of already were when you guys found them in the sarcophagus. So you don't need to dig a very big hole, of course. Basically, to straight down a ways until you can make space for them. Very gingerly, kind of lower them down with Mage Hand until they're at the base of the hole. You guys, you're ready to start filling it in if you're ready to do so. Anything else you're trying to do?
Nope, I'm gonna find a nice rock and then make a small plant grow on top
Okay,
to protect it.
sure. Then you.
And I will carve her name into the rock.
Okay. You heard her name phonetically, so you're writing it in Vindian, not, it wouldn't necessarily be, you basically heard it in Vindian rather, so you're writing a Vindian kind of translation of her name, essentially.
Yeah, I would ask Arteme the closest we could get between the two of us.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Arteme you can't read the language necessarily, but has seen enough of it, having studied the runes a little bit with Leary. But you guys make a nice little resting place for Tekwith for her bones. Arteme, you still are holding onto the skull, or are you putting the skull in there with it?
No, she said to keep the skull because it'd be a good artifact later after her bones were buried. So I'm going to keep the skull.
Then in that case, when you put the rock on top of the, you've finished filling in the dirt, set the rock on top. Sarah, you're kind of etching into it, writing her name on it, while Arteme is growing a vine-like apparatus around it.
I think that was the spelling?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
So a set of a vine growth, essentially, that kind of the roots go deep into the earth, and then holding the rock down on top of it, where a small flower blooms on top of that, and you see along where the initial flower that Arteme blooms. Sarah, you don't even notice this initially because you just assume that Arteme is doing this. But Arteme, as you create one flower that grows up, you initially intend it to be this kind of pretty sky blue. But you notice that the flowers keep darkening, and they keep getting darker and darker until they get to this kind of purple, almost black purple. And you keep kind of trying to change it back, and they keep just getting darker and darker every time you try to adjust it again. And then you see a sprouting row along the vine that has grown over the top of the rock, where little bulbs start to pop up on either side that you're not doing, and they grow out into these same flowers that are also this kind of dark purplish color, until there's a row of 5 of them across the top. And they're just in parallel, which is very strange. That's not how natural flowers grow. It looks cultivated, like the way that a person might try to grow flowers, but not what would occur in a natural vine like that. That's not how flowers would typically grow, so it certainly looks strange.
Does that mean we did it right? Is that...
I think so.
Wow, this is pretty cool.
The skull, as you would kind of, just held on to it, just kind of honoring her memory when you were finishing the burial and everything. You take the skull out of the bag and look at it, and across the top of it, and remember it's a lizard-like skull, essentially, a saurian-shaped, a dinosaur-like skull, essentially. So just the top part, the lower mandible's gone. You're just basically holding the top part, and the teeth are still very sharp. But across the top, in a crown, in what would be a horizontal crown, imagine the racist versions that you see of Native Americans where they were wearing the wide headdress across the top of the head. That's not how they actually ever wore that. That's, that was just in cowboy movies and shit. But kind of like that, where there's a horizontal across the top of the skull from the left ear to the right ear, essentially. Over the top of it are 5 little seed pods, it looks like, that are starting to sprout on the skull as well.
Okay.
In the same kind of pattern as what you saw on the rock.
I'm
Need
just
to identify that when we get back to the Kettle Keep.
Yep. I'm gently gonna rewrap it and put it back in my bag, not the bag of holding.
Okay. I'll tell you that as soon as you start to put it away, it feels very light. It doesn't. It was, all of this was very heavy. Carrying these bones was a lot of weight on you. Even when you would have it in the bag of holding, as soon as you pulled them out, they felt heavier than they should, I guess, by looking at them. And the skull feels like it's just a skull again.
Okay.
Nazim, you doing anything watching this little burial ritual they were performing?
Yeah, as the bulbs are growing, I'm just gonna elbow shrug the person to my left and right, and just kind of point at the bulbs like, "Look at that."
Once when I was a child, I had a pet lizard, and we just put it in a shoebox
with a stick and a leaf to recreate its environment.
No, like that's when it died, just a little box, and then just put it in the dirt. This is much nicer than that.
She's not a lizard. She's a person.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to...
Where I'm from, we just would have used the skull to dig a hole.
No, that would have been an idea. Use her own skull to dig her grave.
I'm sorry, that's a bit disrespectful. I'm not doing that.
All right. You guys have finished the wishes that you had promised Tekwith that you would perform. That complete. What are you guys choosing to do?
I want to go into town. I want to go into town.
go into town.
Town is a long ways away.
What's town?
You're not even on the same island. Yeah, you guys are on a separate island. In fact, actually,
Yeah, we've got two options. We can either head back to the capital of the island and
that's Morethalis,
buy some shit that we need, or we can hurry up back to the cattle keep, back to Dunskathak, and get Maibi what she needs.
I'm gonna need a short rest.
I can get us back there in a minute.
I can help. I can help us get back there.
Yeah.
Nazim can too. You guys don't. Well, Nazim has spell slots, I guess is how I would say that. So you guys know that he would have some magical capability too.
Yeah, so we can go
I'm gonna
back
ask.
there and
So,
get
the
shit that we
one
need
good
later.
thing, how long, do you know how long it would take us to get to Rathalos, Arteme?
So this island, Fox, you would take probably a 2-hour trip by boat. First, you'd have to get to where there is a boat. Essentially, you'd have to find one. Then it's a couple hours to get back to the mainland or the main part of the island, let's say, and then it'll probably still be another day to walk into Morethalis, at least.
Okay, so I might as well go cure my EB, but I'm gonna need a short rest. And what kind of magic do you do, Nazim?
Mostly it looks like necromancy, evocations, things of that nature.
Ooh.
Right.
That's,
I can get us
that's
back
dark.
to Dunskathak in a minute.
Okay. How long is a
You
short
want
rest?
1 hour.
An hour.
So if you want some help with that, we can, I can just use a second spell slot, a little bit of power from me, and we can get there in still 1 minute. Or, if you want, that way we
I
only
don't
each use.
think that works, right?
I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. I
Okay.
think we can
Anything
combine
over
our.
4th level doesn't work.
It doesn't reduce it any further, is all. It still
But
works.
if I
It
use
just-
So
if I use a second level spell slot and you use a second level spell slot, do that. I believe,
but it just
right?
has,
Or is that
it
not
just
how it
has
works?
to be one person though,
No,
doesn't it?
nope.
No,
You,
it can
you
be
guys
multiple
draw.
people.
Yeah, exactly. You guys draw the glyph, and then the spell slots chart that is on the circle of return. If you guys click it, if you want, when you would click it real quick. So when the little chart that I put in there basically is however many people are putting spell slots into it. One of you could put a level 1, and one of you could put a level 3, and that would be 4 total spell slots. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So 2 level 2s
So-
or 4 level 1s, it doesn't matter as long as it's total number of spell slots.
Hang on.
this is
Hang on.
just-
If you want to take an hour to do it, I could take my short rest, regain my greater restoration to use it right away once we get to my EB.
But I'm assuming that Ozzy probably has better healing spells.
But I'm attuned to the thing. He'd have to be attuned to it, which would take an hour
Well,
anyway.
we can always just ask him when we get there if this is something that you're able to do.
Sure.
We don't even know
Yeah,
if you
'cause
have the
it'll
physical
only-
capability of, reattaching her
Reattaching
baby carrots.
Hands.
You guys know she's missing both hands. Both hands were cut off at the wrist, and in fact, Arteme, you still have a probably long since decaying bag of finger parts. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I gave them to the healers to keep preserved.
think
Okay, I'm
that at
sorry.
least
Okay.
I preserved all. I put her hands in preserving stuff and put them near her in jars. Okay,
I-
thank you very much.
I'm
They're in
totally
a jar
just
of
picking on
milk.
you.
They're fine.
Yeah, jar of milk.
Let's at least get there in a minute, and then we can figure out who's going to do what.
Okay,
Now, I have a
but
question.
I like the attunement to this item. Okay.
All right. All right. So, are you ready to do some long distance magical travel?
Who are you
Mr.
asking?
Nazim?
Nazim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
you
ready to go.
You ready to go? All right. Let's go ahead and I'll throw in a second level spell for you so we can make this a little bit quicker.
Okay, so
right.
Sarah, are you doing 1 level 2? Pogo doing 1 level 2 for a total of 4?
Works for me.
All right. Then
Enough.
you guys you guys draw the circle using kind of mage hand in the grass to draw the specific glyphs and incantations needed to get the circle drawn, and then you stand above it, channeling in the energy of a second level spell. Both Sarah on one side, Pogo on the other. All of you see the circle appear to begin to glow this kind of dim blue on the floor. On the ground, rather. And in just in time, you see Sarah and Pogo both look up. Eyes kind of snap open as they see that this glyph is ready to go. You got to move fast.
Let's go.
I'll jump in.
Jump in.
Nobody jumps in?
I'll jump in.
Run in.
Okay. All right. Then you guys jump into the portal and see the the zipping through this tunnel. Obviously, Sako remembers these from teleporting back and forth constantly in balance as well. But you guys are zipping through this kind of electrical tunnel, just barreling through off to what is clearly the east until it snaps into light snaps in around you in a dark room, but somehow still brighter than the tunnel that you were just in, reappearing inside the Crow Fort in the teleportation room, lit by two candles on either side of the door. The room's empty.
There's no one in this room?
It is empty. Door's
We
open.
forgot to tell him we were coming right now. I just told him we were coming today at some point.
I'm gonna pull out my thing and be like,
Your
hey,
stone?
Ozzy. Yeah, my stone. Ozzy, we just came back to the fort. Is everything okay? I get a weird feeling.
You get a reply almost immediately. Yeah, I'll be right there. And he clearly rushing, like he's already moving when you hear that go off. You hear.
Do you guys want to play a prank on him? Is that a prank we can play?
You have 5 seconds. You hear footsteps coming, like slapping up, like he's running, coming from the war room right down the hallway from you guys, where the war room is, where you guys normally meet Pepperjack, as he's clearly running into the room with you. So you have 5 seconds if you want to prep something.
No. I'm not that good.
Okay. In that case, you see Ozzy in the doorway, big beaming smile. Then he immediately kind of catches a glimpse of the sloughed-faced, floating gentleman in the back, and kind of tilts his head to the side a little bit and squints. I guess your group just continues to grow, eh?
Yep.
This is
the
Nazim.
one I told you we were bringing.
Oh, the one that you said not. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Nazim, certainly nice to meet you.
The one we said he could use a tan, but other than that,
I'll nod my head and give him some finger guns.
Nazim, he is a shaved-headed Vabian human. In fact, he looks very much like you did before all the transformation. Looks like a Vabian mage, but dressed in a little more of a kind of an entertainer style, let's say, like a little more of a maybe an alchemist or something like that. But anyways, clearly a mage of Vabi. Similar skin tone. Looks basically just very similar to you did before you did all of your things that got you to where you are now. But you are back in the Crow Fort, guys. We are a little bit over time, so there's. Do you guys have 5 more minutes?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then just real quick. Then I'm going to kind of hastily move through this so we don't keep everybody too long. Ozzy then in the doorway. We were just discussing some plans. Anyways, I'm sure Pepperjack would like to kind of get caught up on what you guys were doing. So do you mind? You guys want to jump in a meeting with us?
Did you want to use the course to help Naibi, or do you think I'd be able to with greater restoration?
You see him squint at you, and he says, I can see that you've already begun tying yourself to it. I mean, if you're capable, I certainly don't mind.
Well, I'm just wondering if the greater restoration would work, or if I need a higher level spell, because if not, you'd have to attune to it.
It wouldn't be me anyways. I really have very little connection to the dental realm myself. It would be far better on your head than mine. I mean, maybe the other healers, if you're not up for it, that's perfectly fine too. She's stable right now. She's still, in a coma, as you know. But we can do this meeting first, and then if you'd like to go check in with the healers, they can probably give you a better analysis than I could.
Okay. So I'll take my short rest while I'm listening to the conversation.
It doesn't quite work like that. You gotta, you know what? I guess if you're just sitting in a corner, that'd be fine. Yeah, as long as you're not up and moving around, that'd be okay.
Yeah, I'd be just sitting, listening, maybe saying a few words.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, then you guys rush down the hallway into the war room. Ozzy falls behind a little bit, letting the rest of the group. You guys know where the war room is, so you kind of run ahead a little bit. Ozzy kind of steps behind a little bit, looks down at Nazim's feet, not touching the floor, looks back up at you. I mean, I don't mean to be offensive, but I don't exactly know you. Are you... Can you give me something that might make me comfortable with you being in a room discussing, let's say, matters of certain import?
Well, I can tell you that he's not with our current enemy right now. He's all the way from the Elf region. He has nothing really either way on this. He's just someone who's been helpful for us for a while. Helped us get that item right there.
I'll tell you this is below the passive. When Pogo says that, Nazim, you see a certain glint of knowledge in his eye. It's clear that he knows exactly what Pogo is saying, even though Pogo is trying to talk circles. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying, Sako?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So what Nazim has been trying to keep, well, not necessarily trying to keep quiet, but it's clear that they figured out what it is that you're not telling them, if that makes sense. And Pogo trying to talk circles around it just not only revealed that completely, but also means that they clearly told this guy named Ozzy, who is this Fabian mage that they've brought here. His name is there, A-Z-H-I, Ozzy.
Nice.
So as of right now, and unless it's very, very super secret, he should be. We're going to be trailing along with him for a while, so he'll probably be working with us for a bit.
Well, considering you're all still alive after everything you've been through, the amount of luck that's followed you, I'm just going to chalk this up to the fate of Wilo and his following of you anyway. So we'll just we'll trust him for now at the very least, I guess. Since you do, I suppose I will as well. And by then, you guys have made it around the corner into the war room there. Pepperjack gives a wide smile as soon as you've stepped inside. Oh, I have the VAs, but normally I would put them up, but I guess we're over time already anyways for Pepperjack and Ozzy, so that Sako can have a face to a name, but I'll put them up for next time. Stepping in, we'll kind of, because we're over time a little bit, we'll kind of jump past the recap, assuming that you guys would fill him in on what happened and everything, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then we'll jump past that. And then Pepperjack then says, well, I appreciate all of that, and your guys' efforts have been Herculean as ever. As we discussed before you left the Elven Isles, the Vabian Legion have agreed to this temporary armistice to discuss this de-escalation. Thus far, we haven't really been able to make them back down on their demand for the return of all the relics and parts relating to Mershulk. Mershulk, by the way, you guys, in case you don't remember, because I know it's been a long time for that, is Mershulk / Sek / the Great Serpent of Autumn. I'll put that in notes in here. Those are all the same creature. That was the Ascended. In fact, actually, I would say that having just recently been on the island and near a tyrant, as soon as that kind of snaps in your memory that you are that they are trying to piece back together this reptilian gargantuan serpent that is an Ascended, it sounds a little similar to how the Iskil would have these tyrants growing. Does that make sense? You guys see there's a connection there?
Yeah, but is it actually an Iskil or is it something different?
It's not, as far as you know, it's not an Iskil, but it was a unique individual creature, but it may have started as an Iskil, you don't know. You just know that the Iskil evolved through these phases of life.
Gotcha.
I'll put it to you this way. I'm not going to tell you that this is the case, but Arteme would probably be thinking about what might happen if a tyrant was allowed to continue existing and continue evolving. Because they always kill them before they become a tyrant. Or if it became a tyrant, they would then kill it and then bury it like what you guys found in the temple at Tahakapan.
Right, but if one would have migrated here and left uncontrolled...
So if there was another step of evolution potentially after that, maybe it would resemble what you guys have seen as far as the art in the temples that you saw in Kafunamat and some other places before the Chain of Dogs. Remember?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So anyways, all that aside. Yep. Oh, were you talking to a dog?
No, I was just saying boo.
Oh, boo. So anyways, I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm just saying that Arteme would probably be those wheels would probably be turning when you are hearing these things. So anyways, he says thus far that we haven't been able to make them back down from their demand for the relics, the pieces of that creature. Remember, they got the fangs, somebody got the fangs back from Norok, and the other bits that you had managed to acquire, but the Vabians still believe that the Crowblinders here, or that it was left in the Mephuan tombs, really, in this place where the Crowblinds are now, that the relics that were left of that creature are here, despite, Pepperjack and all of the Crowblinders here not having any idea what they're talking about. They don't know where these parts would even be. Anyway, so he continues to say, since we're still on the outs, to put it lightly, with the Emperor, aid from Mist won't be coming. So we have to very carefully manage negotiations ourselves, and none of us are particularly good negotiators at that. But thankfully with Maibi, with you returning here and being able to, start her recovery, we may yet be able to find a runaround of the Doman's esoteric demands with some, and he kind of holds his hands up like he's going to do air quotes, with some delicate personnel removal in Kasut and maybe in Al-Qadir. And that's the capital and important cities in the Babian that you guys know.
Well, don't look at me for negotiations. I'm horrible with people. And how's come on, he
Sounds
sent
like
her.
they're pretty much going to give up on the negotiations.
Yeah, he had sent. Oh, Sparkle is not Sparkle.
Sparkle Sand is the Sparkle Sand, all one word, is the pixie that is still harassing Pogo.
Yeah, that's not the one. What was her name? I'm trying to find it. He had sent it. Clover. Thank you. Yes, Clover.
So you
We heard from Clover.
She okay. It's a long story. Yes, kind of. I'm not sure that it's her. So I don't really know what to do with that just yet. To be honest, I haven't had time to really think about how to get her back here. It's a messy situation, and it's just one emergency at a time, I guess, is as best I can say. But I have heard back from her. It just doesn't sound like her.
Okay.
Well, that's never great.
Do we need to go get her?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He kind of he lowers his jaw a little bit. He kind of I mean, I wouldn't say no, but either way, the negotiations and the probable behind enemy lines planning are both going to take some time anyways. A few weeks at least, maybe a couple of months. And with your uncanny affection that you've somehow earned from Wilo, Wilo is the god of luck. He's saying that you guys are too lucky. You're uncannily lucky. That your help would be immeasurably invaluable. When the time comes to do that infiltration behind in the capital of Vabi. So if you're still willing to help us, we would certainly be happy to have it. But at least in the meantime, I mean, you've certainly earned a reprieve. A rest, take a few weeks off.
I get bored too easily.
Yeah, and I've got some stuff to do in the capital, so...
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end here. You guys can, have further discussions with him next week. But let's go ahead and end here, and I just want to remind you guys... okay, so I hopefully figure it out, in the next day or two so that I can prepare where it is you guys are going to decide to go. But, I mean, you can just stay here in the Crow Fort, whatever. But if you're going to leave, then I need to have an idea of which, because there's just a million possible places you guys could go. So discuss you don't have to be in character, I don't care, but discuss in the Embers channel what you guys want to do. But Norok, you still have Obo's bones, your tribal shaman, that you promised to return to the Antaros, to your homelands there at Wild Holler. So you have to return those still. And Sarah, you still have your test at the Tower First Augury at Hyrith. So those are the two kind of main...
I don't remember. Things. Is the test at a certain date, or is it just before a certain date?
She just has to do it before the end of the year.
And is that up by the capital? Isn't that up by the capital too?
Both those places are up near the capital.
Yeah.
So.
I want to find somebody to teach me stealth and medicine.
Okay, as far as training, because that's not...
Yeah, training.
Medicine you already got.
That's going to take a
medicine I have half proficiency, but I want to get full proficiency, and then I want to try and get a bit of stealth proficiency.
Okay, yeah, that's going to take time. Oh, you mean as far as downtime things?
A trainer that could give me exercise that I do during my downtime to be proficient at it. So books, whatever, however I could learn to do these things.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to heal my EB. So we're going to talk to the healers next time when we get back. Yeah. Figure out if I'm using the Wood Sage's course, if someone else is, and then figure everything out from there.
Well, remember, we can only get transported to certain spots, so we might as well try to get transported to the capital. Right?
Right. How long would our downtime be if we just let them heal my EB and stayed here?
As he's told it to you, it could be anywhere between probably 3 weeks to 6 weeks. It really... So I'll go ahead and tell you guys this out of narrative, really, that the dependency would be how long it takes my EB to recover, and you guys don't know how long that'll be.
Yeah.
It's not an instant thing, because hers... I mean, she's literally missing the leg from the knee down of one leg, and both of her hands and her eyes. So she's in fucked up shape and in a coma.
Which, we don't have the leg, but we have the eyes and her hands in preserver things. I have to go, though.
Okay, Fox.
All right. We will continue next week. Love you guys.
Night, everybody.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.